Ladies and gentlemen, are we live? Oh, we're live already. Hey, what's up? I was like about to start going live, getting myself together. We're live already. Okay, well, whatever. Hello, welcome to the channel, guys. Got us some Wii music to start here, because, you know, that's just how we roll it. We're going chill today. Yesterday was a little heated. So today, it's different. Today, we're gonna take Safemooners up, and we're gonna try to hear you guys out. Listen to every point. Make sure we didn't miss anything, because I, hosting this space so that nobody can have an excuse. Nobody can later say, "Oh, but what about this?" No, I want to hear everybody's points out now. Obviously, the video's been out for over 24 hours now. There should have been some thoughts about, if you guys have anything to say. So I want to hear it all. We're going to have some Safemooners up. If you want to join, ladies and gentlemen, please, you have to go to that Discord link and you got to click in, but you can only be a Safemooner. We had some CoffeeZilla fans call in. I kicked them out. I love I love the fans, but we're trying to just talk to Safemoon. Just a safe space for them. So that's how it is. We're gonna take them out, dude. We're gonna hear them out. We're gonna listen to them, provide them a safe space. Cut the music. So that's what we're doing today. We're doing a second debate. That's all. That's basically all there is to it. And the reason, again, like I said, is there's gonna be no excuse this time. No excuse that, oh, I heard people were saying, oh, it's a weekday. How can you make me debate you on a weekday, a Friday, after work? But, it's fine. So today, we're doing it on a weekend. No excuses. If you disagree, come up on stage. Like I said, I responded to this guy yesterday, actually. By the way, put your hands up if you want to talk in the audience, guys. If you don't want to talk, just jump in the YouTube video because it's going to be better for you anyways. So you can just join the YouTube video on the drip. Better. Like the stream. If you want to get more people to see it, get more people on. So far, we have no hands up. Because I keep seeing a lot of Safemooners talking, and they go, oh, we can debunk him. Okay, this is your shot. This is your chance to debunk CoffeeZilla here. Right now, do it live, or don't do it at all, quite frankly. Because, look, guys, I put this whole Twitter thread out yesterday, and I'm really getting annoyed at trying to respond to this guy, because this guy right here, Usury, keeps putting out bad math. He doesn't explain how liquidity pools work. So I literally, step by step, went through the blockchain for this guy. Not to blockchain. Explained everything. And then he comes back today and makes the exact same error. He goes, well, here it is. Another clarification for the Safemoon Army versus Coffee Break, aka CoffeeZilla, addressing his latest video. This is evidence for the public to decide lawsuit against CoffeeZilla or no. Another thread. I've already shown the math here. This is the wrong math that we show. And so he just makes the same error again. He triples down. It's the rare triple down. So I said, look, either just debate me or just stop, because I can't go back and forth. You're going to make a 12,000 tweet long thread. I'm going to make 3 posts about it, just saying like, hey, this is wrong and here's why. But it's just getting kind of boring. So either we have to settle this once and for all, or I just can't continue to go back and forth about this. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 0 responders right now. We did get Gavia, $5. Coffee, the only scam was you leaving the drip. Fair enough. I don't know what to say about that. I've been owned. That's very true. Again, guys, if you want to... Oh, we have our first challenger, Poso. Come on up, bud. Again, if you want to debate, you can get on. They're in the description. There should be... the description tab of this video, there should be a whole thing about how you get on. Poso, how's it going?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you for joining up. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Sure. I'm not trying to rebut your points, but I am trying to provide the bull case as best I understand it. Is that'd
be great.
Permissible?
Yes, please, go ahead.
So I guess the idea is no matter what happened in the past, the bull case is that you trust the team to not do it again and to deliver on their articulated use cases. So if you are bullish on Gambian wind farms and the exchange and whatever else they have articulated, and you have faith in them to deliver that without taking any further money out of liquidity. That's the bull case. I don't know if it's a strong one, but I figured I'd give you someone to talk to.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you coming on. So you're saying the bull case is basically forget about the past, forget about how this coin started, forget about the money that was taken, stolen. Let's just give them another shot.
As best I understand it, yes, that would be the reason, because you think it's not going to happen again, and you think, value has to come from somewhere, as we know. And so there has to be some external value added to the project beyond just people buying because they like it. So, if you think there's going to be some external value with wind turbines and I guess the Safemoon exchange, then, rock on. And if you think the liquidity is not going to be, misallocated again, rock on. That's the bull case.
So basically, just ignore what happened, ignore the money that's been stolen, and basically just trust that they won't steal it again.
So it seems.
I don't know if that really. I'm trying to be respectful here.
Sure, me too.
I want to be super
I'm not saying somebody should agree with. I'm not saying I agree with this bull case. Again, just providing you with an interlocutor.
I appreciate it. So, I mean, couldn't you say that about every historical case of fraud where you just keep believing like BitConnect was a Ponzi, but maybe they won't be a Ponzi in the future. Most frauds, they sort of have some idea that's like pushing their investors. Like Theranos, it was like this blood testing technology, right?
Yeah, good old Theranos.
So you could say if you're investing in Theranos, well, they may have lied in the past, but I'm just trusting them to not lie again. I'm just hoping this blood thing kind of works out. That's basically the bull case.
I think so. And again, without agreeing with anybody, because I like to be as neutral as possible, assuming that Safemoon is a fraud, I'd be interested, in historical cases of frauds with a plan that subsequently became legit and actually managed to deliver. It's a big world. I bet it's happened at some point in the past. And if anyone has any historical examples, I'd be interested in hearing about them.
Yeah, right. I'd be interested in it as well. Well, that is very well said. Again, guys, if you have any, if anyone else wants to come in, we're gonna let them in. Otherwise, we're gonna just have keep this guy on here, because no Safemoon. Look, honestly, I'm looking for those Safemoon influencers. Where are these guys at? They talk like for 24 hours a day on Twitter Spaces, and then this thing comes up, and they're just nowhere to be found. I don't understand it. So are you a Safemoon investor?
I would never use the word investor. But yes, Safemoon was my introduction to the DeFi space. I came to hold some tokens, and I don't really disclose what I do with them. But suffice it to say that, the things you have raised are of great interest to anybody who likes to dispassionately analyze the blockchain, right? And these are relevant pieces of evidence we all need to take and without thinking that anybody's got a side agenda, because the blockchain never lies, right?
Right. Well, that's the thing. I mean, if you do the math right, that's the whole thing. I mean, that's the problem right now with that guy on Twitter, Ramoni. He's doesn't understand what a buy and sell versus remove liquidity is. I asked him to come on the show. He won't come on. Let me ask you, why do you think so many people are against the evidence that's coming out? Like, isn't the evidence sort of neutral? Like it should just not matter.
Well, I think what they're against is not necessarily the evidence. I believe what they're against is the activist publication of that evidence. They would say, even if true, the things you are doing now are making it very hard for this project to gain critical traction. And of course, I've heard you say many times, who the hell cares? Fraud is fraud. So it's important to publicize it, especially when it's got as many people invested in it as with Safemoon.
Right.
So, I don't think they're even mad about the allegations. I think, in the Safemoon Discord, it is labeled old FUD, which is to say things that already happened. And we're focused on the future at Safemoon is the argument.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do you think? So this is one thing I'm trying to really get in this space, trying to get in the head, the psychology of the Safemoon army. So help me understand. I'm trying to understand everybody. Now I've reached out to a lot of the smartest people in Safemoon who I consider to actually kind of know what they're talking about. And a lot of them won't talk to me. And it's sort of frustrating because I'm like, well, I'm trying to figure out how you guys think. So let me ask you this, since you're an investor, what would it take for you to go, I'm washing my hands of this. this is fraud? What would it take for you to go, this is,
Well, again, I hear
I'm
you.
done.
I don't call myself an investor, and I'm not saying whether I even have any Safemoon tokens. But again, I'm trying to articulate what I think is the bullish case, just again to give you someone to talk to. I think Safemoon was a lot of people's introduction to economic concepts like supply and demand, and a lot of people who might have came over from the GameStop saga, where it was all about holding, like your life depends on it.
Mm-hmm.
They see that this inevitable moon mission as a mathematical inevitability based upon certain concepts of supply and demand. And a lot of them are like, when we reach a certain amount of supply, price obviously has to be this. And then the idea that liquidity gets taken out over time doesn't necessarily factor into that thinking. Now, obviously, Coffee, you have articulated exactly why it should factor into that thinking. But a lot of people are applying that sort of high school economics concept of supply and demand and saying, look, with this burn, if we just hold and give them a chance, this is inevitable. And that still is not the craziest thing I've heard. Stranger things have happened. Whether it will happen now, in my view, does depend on the ability to generate external value. And again, that's a personal, people can still buy Safemoon if they want. They can sell it if they want. And we'll just have to see what happens. And
right. But I want to know, like, what would it take for, do you think, okay, so you're saying, look, I'm not the average investor, whatever, but I'm saying the average Safemoon investor, they're down. They don't want to believe that. They want to believe Caroni's basically the golden child who saved the project, whatever. What do you think it would take for them to go,
I see.
Okay, no, I'm wrong.
I would imagine a public statement by John Caroni himself admitting to certain things. And I believe, well, that is one thing. That's the only thing I'm sure would have the impact you're looking for, in my view. I don't think, if you were able to track it down on the blockchain, I don't think that would do enough because there's an oracle problem there, right? Like, I can't read the blockchain as well as you, Coffee. But I've decided to trust your research because it seems legit and people I trust have verified it too. But I don't think the average Safemoon Army person is going to spend hours and hours and hours learning how to read the blockchain. And that's fine. Like, I think most DeFi projects share that in their community. And every community has within it certain oracles who they trust. So, as a community, Safemoon may be suffering from a lack of internal people on the Discord who can say, like, actually, look, the blockchain does not lie, that kind of thing. So
that's
to answer your question,
great point. No, that's such a great point. I want to jump in there because that's why I'm trying to talk to these Safemoon people on the inside. Because I'm like, I'll prove it to you. Like, if you know what you're talking, if you know how to read the blockchain, I'll show you. I'll get on a call with you. I'll show you all the evidence. And a lot of them don't want to talk. Even they're like so-called like blockchain people, which is a bit frustrating, with the exception of one person. I don't know if they want to publicly be named as talking to me, but there are a few people that I'm convincing. But another question I have is about John Caroni. John Caroni issued a statement today. I don't know if you saw it in the captain's log. He responded, but he responded in a non-response kind of way. He said, this is a quote from their captain's log, "I also acknowledge that one of the prices of high innovation is the inevitable fact misinformation being put out into the world by those outside of Safemoon. This can be hurtful to efforts of advancing our ecosystem. I will continue to make the conscious choice not to take the bait of halting work to address the reams of false information being posted. To do so would only slow the real work ahead." Now, this is a dodge. Why doesn't he just go, hey, look, that account, 6ABE, Gabe, that's not my account? Why do you think he doesn't say that?
Oh, I don't know. I can't speak to someone else's motivations.
That's fair. Yeah, sure. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I can wildly speculate.
Sure, speculate. We're here speculating. See. John Caroni won't get on the phone with me. Neither will a lot of the Safemoon influencers who might have an inside track on it.
To take one wallet and to then say that that's all going to Rolexes and such, one might say is missing the kind of forest for the trees. To the extent that money was allocated to meaningful purposes that can generate external value, I have no idea where that money was allocated because I don't do the research here. I trust people like you and others in my community to look it up. But so I think one answer would be like, look, we got a business to run. If I answer Coffee, I got to answer everyone, and haters are a price of success. One might say. Am I saying that? I have no idea. That's just, that's why, if you're looking for someone from the Safemoon Army to say like, okay, stand up and like, we have a problem here, then yeah, it would take a direct statement from the leadership. That's all.
Right. But also, if he's wrong, he's never going to admit it. I mean, if it is his, that's the whole thing, is the dodge is undistinguishable from the allegations being true and just not responding. Like, it might be true that, oh my gosh, I can't respond to a guy who put together all this research because then I'd be responding to everybody. That's the argument. Right. It doesn't make sense, though, because there's a difference between credible allegations where you have evidence, all this stuff, and there's a difference between that and like a crackpot who's like, I just think it's a scam. There's a big difference.
Right. Of course.
But
another, sorry to cut you off, but, probably the real answer here is if the gentleman has legal counsel, that counsel is probably strongly advising him to not comment publicly, which is a defensible position.
Sure. I mean, especially if what you did was...
No, I would disagree. Whether what you did was right or wrong, if someone is accusing you of something very wrong, it's always smart to not issue a public position on that unless and until you're prepared to, because you've been
fully
saying
debunk it, right? No, well, fully debunk it. I mean, like people,
even if you are, there's lots of lawyers that would say, look, if you have the receipts and you can show him, like, there's no point in getting dragged into a public conversation. So again, that says nothing about whether it's true or whether it's false. It's just kind of standard legal practice at this point.
Maybe so.
So it's frustrating because I know you'd love to get him on. I mean, that would be, you could sell that on pay-per-view. I would jump in.
No, not a call with me personally. I mean, he's never going to do that. I don't even think that. I'm just saying even issue a basic statement, like just like even just like in text, like, hey, this is what this does. This is what this does.
Yeah, that would be helpful to everybody if it's in the pipeline. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I appreciate your time and I appreciate your research. But thanks, and I'll listen to the conversation.
Appreciate it. Okay, guys, we need another member of the Safemoon Army. Put your hands up if you're a member of the Safemoon Army. Again, have to be a member. Ladies and gentlemen, I issued this challenge. Please, come on up, fellas. Come on up. Join in. Join in the fun. Again, you can go to Discord in the description here. Let's put back on the Wii theme here and talk about this real quick. Because it was kind of a surprise that John Caroni came out of the woodwork yesterday, to be honest with you. I was quite surprised because he's been MIA for a week now. So he comes out and he says, I continue to make the conscious choice to not take the bait of halting work to address the reams of false information being posted. It's interesting. Is that last guy right? It's just a legal tactic? Maybe. Maybe that's true. Maybe there's something else behind it. We don't know. I'm going to check. This music's way too loud. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Hello. Who else? Discord link is down. No wonder. Okay. No wonder, guys. No wonder. I was like, dude, nobody. Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Discord link is down. What? I think this is the new invite, guys. Join the new invite. Join the new invite, ladies and gentlemen. I can't believe I did this to you guys. Now we're going to have a great little chat here because Discord link is no longer down. Boom. Boom. Save that. Refresh the page if you need to find the new Discord link. Discord link is back up. Sorry, chat. I did not see that. I appreciate y'all on helping me with that. Thank you very much. Now there should be plenty of people who can join. Again, please do not join the audience if you're not going to jump. Just join the YouTube show because, that's the same. I think there's a cap to the number of people we can have in our audience. I'm going to have to start kicking people out if people are failing to get in because people are just sitting in the chat. Okay. Mr. Gamer. Mr. Gamer's up. Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Doing all right, Coffee Zoa. How about you, man?
I'm doing good. Listen, this is our second space to clear the air with the Safemooners. If you have a problem, if you disagree, change my mind.
Honestly, I cannot present anything to the table that, in terms of disagreeing with you, because honestly, I have been watching from afar this whole Safemoon situation, and seeing your work on the subject, it's been it's been pretty valid, honestly, seeing how Safemooners are refusing to admit that they've been elaborately scammed and that this was part of a ruse to further promote that scam to each other, and then seeing them run for the hills, quote unquote, is just it's funny to me that they refuse to absolutely just get into a call with you or into a debate with you and smooth things over, if you will, with you.
That's the most surprising part. I thought for all the people, Turbo Chad will get you up in a second. I thought for all the people who were talking, who were like, this is so wrong, this is crazy, I thought there would be more people who came up. But, that's it. I mean, listen, we're going to try to give a safe... I try to make it clear that we're only having Safemoon investors up. So are you a Safemoon investor?
Honestly, no, I'm not invested in any type of like crypto stuff, to be real with you.
I'm going to have to... Hey, we're going to have to chat another time then. I got it. This is a safe space for Safemooners, okay? Thank you.
Oh, hey, you're welcome. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
For having me.
Turbo Chad, come on up. We got to keep it to... I know, even if I just have to sit up here alone, I will. But this is only for Safemooners.
Yeah. So yeah, I was actually talking to some Safemooners before, and I'll read some of the stuff because I think there was an interesting question that one of them did bring up, and it came down to like the money that actually went to Crony and all of that.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
So let me just get it right here. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you. Some of them, they were not very happy with the discussion that happened yesterday. I hate to say it, but they were a little... Let me just read it. Let me just read this before I tell you what the meat of it is. He was like, CoffeeZilla did a stream in the middle of the day, and there's a bunch of brain-dead college kids who can't make a good argument. Like, this is kind of the general consensus, or like that I was actually talking to them. But there was an interesting point that they asked, you know. And the point was this, they talked about how there was, quote unquote, perhaps a miscommunication, and perhaps when it came down to it, money, when it went there, when it came down to it being truly a scam, we were wondering whether or not this misallocation of resources, was spent too much on marketing and payouts, and it wasn't spent as much on development. And, I was talking to them, and I was like, man, it seems kind of weird that Crony, did all of this. Like, could he have would it still have been a scam if he had taken the money and he had spent it on something far better, like actually more efficient, like actually to help with the company itself, rather than what, he did spend it on? Like, what would you say to that? Would you say that maybe it was more so, I guess you could say, a not misinformation, but mismessaging or something of that sort? Like, what could you say to that, I guess?
I think if it was the case, if you could prove it was the case, and the evidence showed it was the case that basically Safemoon had wildly miscommunicated how the LP worked. And then you said, but look, all that money that was stolen, well, it was still spent on the company and to make the Safemoon investment more valuable. Let's just say that was true, right? People were paid reasonable salaries. Nobody got Lambos suddenly. Nobody got millions of dollars. I don't think we'd be talking right now. I mean, it would be relevant. It would be wrong that they did it. But okay, they disclosed it, and then they're just building a company, right? The real big problem is that you have people like Ben Phillips walking away on private jets. The problem is that you have people like Thomas walking away with at least $2 million that he says, and we suspect more. That these are the problems, is that actually Safemooners are down 90%. And the people who...
Jesus, I thought it was 70. I apologize. I forgot about that. Holy crap.
Wait, which part?
Sorry, you said 90%. I had no idea it gotten that bad. Last time stock market, the market.
Oh, it's a bloodbath.
So
Safemoon is a bloodbath right now, to be clear. Safemooners are suffering.
I mean,
most of them are like way down, and it's contributing to this thing of like, well, we might as well just stick it out because, I'm not going to sell now because I'm so far down. So, I'll answer your question in good faith. Like, yeah, maybe if it had all truly been spent on the right, but as soon as you start to get $1 million payouts, stuff like that, it's like, no, this isn't okay. Now the stolen money has gone. to fund somebody's ridiculous lifestyle while everyone else is getting torched? No, that's not right. And
Yeah,
I think most people would agree with that, right? Like a guy who works 9 months on a blockchain project who seems to misunderstand the blockchain. I'm talking about Thomas here, because he says he didn't even know that Kyle stole money. And it's like, you're the CTO of a blockchain company and you're not watching the blockchain when it comes to the like other main dev. It just seems hard to believe, and you're making $2 million. It doesn't track, right? So it's a good point, but do you have any other points from the Safemoon army that they want to get across to me here? Maybe they don't feel like they can come on and just speak for themselves.
Yeah, a couple things that some of them actually did bring up when it came down to it was that, some of them said, oh, hey, and I don't know if you probably already addressed this in the last stream, but the thing that they really started to talk about was like, oh, hey, he's talking about it as a fraud, but he's doing it too quickly. There's an investigation ongoing, and it's, it hasn't exactly, ended yet. Of course, honestly, there's a lot of coincidences with this, quote-unquote coincidences, that's how they put it, that seem to be lining up. But what would you say, whether or not you think that maybe you've jumped the gun on this? Like, how, because, like, evidence
wait, sorry, what do you mean there's an ongoing investigation? Sorry, say again?
I heard there was a lawsuit. If that's what they told me. They were talking about a lawsuit when it came down to Safemoon. Like some people, I think it was a suit targeting Safemoon LLC and its executives, such as the founder, like John Caroni, and targeting YouTubers and Ben Phillips, Jake Paul, them included. That's what I'm referring to.
Well, yeah, I mean, across history, you see that these things take a long time and people get hurt in the process. I mean, so if you look at Bernie Madoff. There's this guy, Harry Markopoulos, who found Bernie Madoff's fraud way before anyone else did, right? He's just this random guy. He sends a notice to the SEC, right? The SEC investigates, finds nothing. Does that mean Harry Markopoulos was wrong about... Harry Markopoulos says he looked at at Bernie Madoff for like an hour and he knew it was a fraud. He's just looking over the documents. He's like, this doesn't make sense. The SEC couldn't figure it out in that case, and they investigated him multiple times. Bernie Madoff was investigated multiple times. And you have to imagine that at the time, the investors were saying, well, they were cleared by the SEC, supposedly, right? Why doesn't Harry Markopoulos wait to publish stuff until he's positive, right? Why didn't he let these... They were wrong. Turns out, actually, it's pretty easy to figure out if you just looked at the math. So what I'm doing is I'm not just wildly speculating, right? I'm bringing you guys evidence. I'm bringing you guys interviews with the top people at Safemoon. And I'm saying, look at what this evidence seems to suggest. Because obviously, look, if you guys find out after Safemoon already lost the lawsuit, what does that matter for you guys? Your investment's in the dumpster. Like, how's that helpful to you? That's not helpful at all, actually. It's the opposite of helpful.
That's a good point. That really is a good point. It kind of reminds me, of course, this isn't really an investing thing in this case, but it does tie in. It reminds me of one of the recent findings, when it concerns like the Epstein investigation, where when they were investigating like his money, his cash flows, somebody brought up that he so happened to have $500 million in an account that he had that so happened to link to his confidant, Ghislaine Maxwell's father, her late father, who had taken this same exact amount of money decades ago in a huge scheme that was fairly similar in the fraud that was being committed. And the thing is that, all this money, it's pretty much all adding up. However, I mean, it really does beg the question. I mean, where did they get this money? I mean, they won't answer it. And yet at the same time, I mean, I can see where they're coming from, the whole jumping the gun. It's so hard.
But again, how is it jumping the gun if you have evidence? That's the whole thing that I don't get. It's like that doesn't make any sense. By the way, just a quick update for everybody. The guy who keeps saying that, oh, he's exposed me, he's proved me wrong. I said, look, I've debunked you twice. You've posted a third time. You've tripled down. Just come on the debate. He says, here's his response. Oh, so you are inviting me to an ego-stroking shouting match in front of all your supporters. Hard pass. I have a better idea. How about we wait until you argue it in court? That way you can bring more of your delicious cherries. Thanks for playing, CoffeeZilla.
Jeez.
I mean, this is the Safemoon playbook. They talk online, they talk a big game, but when it comes to actually showing up and talking, a lot of times it's it's pretty lacking. I mean, this is what Dark Moon Tim did. This is what all these guys did. Chris Harris, all these guys, they talk a big game. And then I say, look, just get on a call and they run. Why do you think that is? I mean,
it's probably like I know what you're talking about. I mean, the fact that he's not here, like the people that I was talking to, like they're not really here, a majority of them, and the fact that like, I mean, they told me it, but they said all this stuff and that they didn't go on to the chat. It is kind of telling that I think that they're just afraid of actually having to do it. And I will say, some of them do, I think, legitimately feel that this isn't a debate to them. To them, it's like, I don't want to make a reference, but to them, it's like some guy who has like a bunch of sources, like a freaking binder full of it, and they're just, they're coming into something that they don't even know what's going to happen. Like, what is this? I mean, that's what some of them think. But the thing is that, you've invited them. Like, it just seems weird that they would tell me all of this and they send all these, like, insults to you. They wouldn't join. Like, I have to join, and I have to say what they're saying. It's weird.
It is weird. And here's the thing. I don't think any of my calls so far have ever gotten to shouting. What the?
Somebody
Thank
say
you. I don't think any of my topics have ever gotten to shouting at all. Like, it's basically been pretty normal the entire time. Java just tried to update during my live stream. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, I hear you fine. So, I mean, I have to say that when it concerns Safemoon, I mean, the real question really comes down to, like, what are they going to do in the future? I mean, they've already brought this up, and yet, the question really comes, like, do they even have they wasted so many funds to the point in which it doesn't even, like, I mean, how much have they wasted at this point, I guess? I mean, do they have funds that they could still try and do something to change, or could they still try? I mean, the whole idea of Safemoon was that, they had, like, 3 different ways that they would help, counterbalance certain effects that affected like volatility. There was the liquidity pools thing. There was crash and burn. There was things that they said that they had, and I mean, it's just everything is changing, and already you've brought up 90% has gone down. I mean, what can they do to even try and recover from this? I guess would you say? I mean,
yeah. It's tough because I think everything starts with admitting what's happened, admitting If you read a book by Jim Collins called Good to Great, there's this part about like confronting the facts as they are. One of the big things if companies make a turnaround, or in the history of companies who kind of go from like mediocrity to actually excellence, it's that their leadership is willing to confront the actual issues. Like, you're willing to basically say, look, we have major problems. We have this, we have that. So to me, you said earlier, you're like, or I don't know if it was you or somebody else, but basically the point was like, what if this just was a fraud and it became like totally legit? To me, that starts with admitting what it was. It starts with going, hey, all these other guys, and like John Caroni could make the statement, hey, all these other guys were total crooks. I did take all these millions of dollars. Here's why. Here's the state of affairs. And we're going to try to build starting with like truth. The thing is, Safemoon has been built on lies from the very beginning, and it's still being built on lies. So if you're going to go from a fraud to some legitimate company, if that's even possible, you have to start with moving towards the truth.
I see. And that's a very valid point. I gotta say, that's a good point. And honestly, the thing that sucks is I did kind of say, I think I did bring something like that up earlier. And when they were, when I was talking about, came down to like whether or not, because effectively what happened in the initial portion, like it's obvious that it was a fraud. Like nobody should even debate that at this point. Even Caroni himself pretty much admitted this. And the thing about Caroni is that Caroni, the biggest problem for the company could very well just be Caroni himself. Like to admit the fault would be to admit that he is the problem, and it's gotten so bad at this point, he'd be pretty much saying that he is responsible for all of this, which he is technically under the guise of a lot of it, for the most part. But the thing is that Caroni, the thing that sucks is that what it seems to have happened is that they made a ton of money. They made so much money. Oh, yeah, tons of money. Literally millions upon millions. I mean, they have $1 billion market cap, and they actually have a ton of the cash, or they had it. And that's the thing. There was so much that they could have done with that. And, I don't know how much they've used so far exactly. I don't think that either of us necessarily do. But considering the amount that they have so frivolously, it seems, spended at this point, it just begs the question. I mean, obviously, they totally could have, or maybe could go legit. They could actually use that money. They could utilize. I mean, the blockchain doesn't lie. There's so much that they could do. But, I mean, how much of it have they already used? I mean, look at what they've done so far. I mean, there's a new team. I mean, I believe I think there was a former CBO. Is that what they said? I think he got fired and he got replaced, right?
Yeah, one of the weird things about, I don't know why no one's talked about this yet. You have this series of like people saying over and over, John Caroni's the problem. Like every former employee is always ends with Safemoon poorly. It's always we hired them while they're on our team. They're great, right? While they're on our team, Thomas is the best. Kyle's a genius. Everybody's so smart. Everybody's so like savvy, whatever. Then the second they leave, they're dead to us. They were frauds all along. Da 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 da. You can only do that so much before you start scratching your head and going, hey, wait, maybe it's the guy who keeps basically excommunicating everybody. Like no one can work with John Caroni. Like the whole team's been changed over. Even Fudhound, who basically kissed Caroni's ass for basically the whole of last year, said he had a problem with his ethics. That was a huge red flag, and so many people are just glossing right over that. This is a guy that worshipped Safemoon, and he goes, I have a problem with my code of ethics, and there's a problem with the leadership. And then Caroni comes out and basically goes, oh, no, this guy's trash, whatever. After doing the same thing with this guy that he did with everybody, which is, oh, he's so great, he's so smart, Fudhound's so awesome, oh, great, Fudhound's so great. Where's the common denominator here? Where's the conversation around the common denominator of all these things? Everybody wants to say, oh, John Caroni's the only good guy. Is that really true?
That's a really good point to bring up, honestly. And the thing that's so interesting about it is that, Caroni, I do agree that it's a bit odd that Caroni has been so left out of the conversation because, I mean, the man is quite literally the CEO, I believe. He's still the CEO, sitting like executive. He's the one who's still there. Mm-hmm. He's the one who has control of the project. He started the project. I mean, he's both the founder and the CEO, and yet it seems as though...
Well, he's not... No, to be clear, he's not the founder.
Really?
Safemoon Dev is the founder, Kyle.
I see. That's odd.
Caroni came in. So the history is very interesting of Safemoon. People just gloss over it in Safemoon because they don't really care. But let's talk about the history of Safemoon. It was started by Safemoon Dev, a.k.a. Kyle. People know his full name, but I haven't been really saying it because, whatever. He wanted to be private. So there's this guy, Kyle. He copied a rug pull, and he starts to rug pull the token. Really soon, about March 12th, John Caroni comes on after Papa comes on. So Papa comes on, and Papa was working for Caroni at this company called Tano. John Caroni's basically this like wannabe like startup guy, whatever. Apparently he lived in a trailer, and he goes, look, Thomas, if you're going to go to this other company called Safemoon, you're technically still under my contract. You have to bring that contract in and bring me on board. So Caroni like finagles his way on board, and he says, look, I'll take care of the business side. Now, apparently he quickly managed to get a 75-25 split with Kyle. So Kyle created the coin, but really quickly he becomes the minority owner, and Caroni becomes the majority owner. And then really quickly so from there, almost immediately Caroni's in charge of the show, even though he didn't start the coin, he didn't do it, he just like kind of took over. And then everybody gets kicked out, and Caroni's the big shot calling all the shots. Nobody can work with this dude. Everybody hates him. I mean, and that's hardly an exaggeration. Like the calls that I had with all the employees, even you heard the ones that I got on the record, obviously, and a lot of them were leaked calls too, where people hate this guy. If you're the fraud in a company, maybe you don't like the fact you have a boss that's ethical, but you wouldn't speak so badly about them. Someone like the Fudhound wouldn't talk about his code of ethics and stuff like that if there wasn't something weird going on, or at least that's my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, that is a very interesting point to make, and it's actually a really crazy one too, because honestly, the more it goes on, I mean, the biggest argument against that I've heard would really just be like, oh, it's because they were all...
Everybody's bad. Everybody's bad.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that is the biggest argument I've heard. And I mean, it begs the question, were they all corrupt and he's the only one who's changed of heart? Or is
right,
it
and
how
why
you're
didn't
putting
he
it?
know at the time? Because again, it's like the entire time he's saying, these guys are great. these guys are awesome. These guys are geniuses. Right up until the exact moment they either leave or get fired, and he basically wants to burn him to the ground. I mean, you heard Thomas in that call. And I think in the extended call that I posted the same time that I posted the abbreviated call, he talks about the fact that Caroni wanted to burn his fellow people to the ground. Like, he didn't just want to fire them. He wanted to destroy their lives. He wanted to sue them. He wanted to do, and that's one of the reasons that Thomas was so torn on this whole thing, is he goes, look, I'm trying to defend my friends from this guy, like, who he's been friends with for a long time. And he's just like, he says in the extended call, he goes, look, John, he was my friend, but like, he's, you know, as far as a boss, like, what you've heard is true about, you know, how he is. So everybody's saying the same thing. Why don't we start listening to them?
Yeah. And the thing is, that's kind of interesting, and I think it really comes down to this. Truly what makes Safemoon a fraud, and this is what really I think is the biggest question that people are going to probably end up asking. If Caroni goes, will Safemoon still be a fraud? What's truly the fraud here? Is it John Caroni himself? Could you separate John Caroni from Safemoon? Would it still truly be a fraud? Could it not be a fraud? Like, that's really the question I think Safemooners are going to have to start asking here, because Caroni seems to be the common denominator, and if you get rid of him, and you're able to fix Safemoon, would it still be a fraud? And
well,
I
think it would have. It ceases to have been a fraud in the past, right? It always will have been a fraud, and always will have started as a fraud. Now, whether you want to say, like, maybe someone comes in and legitimizes the accounts, maybe. But again, like, there's so much, that's so rare. What usually happens with frauds is they start a fraud, they die a fraud. It's like, that's the real story of that stuff. I mean, you can kind of, but I get what you're saying, which is like the wishful thinking of like, you know, I'm already so far into this, I don't want to lose my investment. I don't want to sell. So I can, yes, wishful thinking, you could think that. But it is, this Caroni thing's a problem. Listen, I want to let some other people get up here. I see some good hands up. So thank you so much for coming on. I thought it was a productive conversation.
Yeah, man. See you later. Thanks for having me on. Look forward to see you in the future, man. See
See
you.
ya. Thanks. Okay, Crypto Control, we're going to have you on. And there was another guy who's called Generation Crypto or something. He was in here a second ago. If you guys see him, tell him to put his hand up if he wants to come up. I saw him yesterday. He said he might want to come on. Crypto Control, how's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
Let's talk about this Safemoon thing. And specifically, was there anything that you felt was left out in the last debate that you want to get off your chest?
Oh, yeah, there was actually.
Great.
Well, firstly, I was just wondering why you didn't do this on Twitter, because it would probably reach a lot more people, and it'd probably be a lot more likely for the people that you're wanting to debate to actually come up to the stage.
Because it's kind of dumb. You need like I don't know how to do Twitter Spaces on my PC. I think you have to do it on your phone.
You have to do it on your phone, yeah.
And I have a dumb phone, and I'm not really sure if my phone can handle it. So it's kind of that simple. My platform's YouTube anyways, and so I know how to do it, sort of thing. But I mean, it's a Discord thing. I feel like most people can figure out Discord. It's not like we're asking them to like, you know, download TikTok and do a dance to get on. It's their bread and butter too. I think it's a fair place.
No, I'm not saying it's not a bad method. You'd probably just reach a lot more people if you were able to do that. Like whenever I stream Twitter, I'll put it on my PC, live stream it with the software, and then get on my phone and do it from my phone. It's real easy. You just, go ahead.
The other thing too is I really like to put up evidence because obviously, and I'll open up other people's, if somebody else has evidence they want me to open up, I'll put that up too. Because it's one thing to talk, because when you're just talking, you can say this happened, I can say this happened, but I can't show you like, you know what I mean? I can't show. So
yeah, actually,
about YouTube
you probably
really
just don't
cool.
use Twitter very. No, I'm not saying not to do YouTube, but with Twitter Spaces, you can actually pin stuff at the very top for everybody to click on and see while you're doing it.
See, there you go. See, I don't really use it. Well said. So what do you want to talk about?
Well, I think just kind of the heart of like, if you're open to me just having a discussion with you, like how many legit companies do you think have had all kinds of fraud going on, but are still, succeeding, even like ones that have stocks or whatnot? I imagine like almost all of them do.
I hard disagree with you there.
Okay.
I mean, do you have like a big example of that?
Yeah, that would be good if I had that. I guess the main thing I was just saying is, and I was like, this the heart of what you're trying to do is to convince people that Safemoon is a scam and that it's going to die and that their best option is to get out now. Is that kind of what you're aiming at doing, or?
I don't know. That's a question? Is that my goal?
Yeah, yeah.
My goal is to show people what this company was and is. Whether what you do with that thing, I don't really care. I mean, I hope the victims get as much back as they can, right? And that's how I see investors at this point. Is I do think they're victims. But I mean, as far as if you want to hold on to the bitter end, like, I'm not going to stop you. I don't think I said in either video. I could be wrong, but I don't think I ever said, like, sell now, guys, get out while you can. Like, I don't think I ever said that.
Yeah, I was just listening to you, talk earlier, and that's kind of what I was trying to understand, because you were saying that you were saying something like that with the guy previously in the chat. You were saying, like, what was it you were saying? Basically,
I might have said it. I feel like it's your best option now, but I'm not. It's not my. That's my personal opinion. That's not my big, like. In other words, whether Safemoon shuts down today or tomorrow or the next day or whatever, like, I'm not personally, like, that's not the reason I put out the videos. That's why what I thought you were getting at is, like, why are you putting out these videos? I want people to know what happened. I want people to see this for what it is. But then what you decide to do with that information is your own choice.
Okay, so would you still think that, I know probably not from your perspective, but since we don't know the future, that it's possible that one day that, the price could take off if they, with their exchange or, with something that they're creating right now with all that money they have?
All things are possible. I mean, don't clip that out and make it seem like I'm supporting Safemoon or anything, because I'm not.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. I kind of want to do that now.
I think that it's absolute. My personal opinion is it's going to zero, and that it's a fraud, and it's started as a fraud. It's going to end as a fraud, but all things are possible. I mean, yeah, sure, whatever. I think Caroni could also, resign, and you could have Steve Jobs take over. Like anything could happen. Well, not Steve Jobs, but you know what I mean. Elon Musk could take over, and it could go to the moon. But that's not. I think living in
you just want them to know the information.
Living in the realm of speculation is just kind of like, yeah, silly. It's like, let's deal with what the facts are, and let's have the management deal with the facts. That's the thing that's most concerning, I think, is that the management of Safemoon doesn't seem to deal in facts, and they seem to deal in, like, dodging legitimate allegations.
I'll be honest, I don't like how they deal with it either, because I'm part of another project, and I'm not going to show it here, but they'll go out there and just talk about anything. If you accuse them of something, they'll jump into space and start talking to you right away to clear the air. And I don't quite like the silence, and I think it would be pretty easy to dispel these rumors if it wasn't true. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to kind of give a quick perspective, because I know you want to get to other people as well. I'm not trying to say that.
I'm not trying to kick you off. If you have a lot more thoughts, let's go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so because of how cryptos are designed, people that buy in early get a lot of tokens. As more people buy, it raises the price. They're able to sell. So we see that's kind of just the pattern, is this big pump and this big dump with any project, whether the team's trying to rug pull, whether the team is legit and actually trying to make real utilities. That's going to happen because people get in early and people get in later. And so I think that there's a context to that when we talk about, that being down, because if you look at Safemoon, it also had a ton of people who made a lot of money. So it's I think you have to separate that part from, like, the team part. And another perspective about it that I feel like isn't quite there is that if any team had started Safemoon and they had just done a certain percentage to marketing or given themselves tokens that said, hey, this is how we're going to pay ourselves, they would have probably, they would have made millions. They would have made a lot of money. But it kind of seems like, and you do a really good job digging into the backstory of Safemoon. I didn't even know all those things you said, but it seems like it started with not a plan on how to pay the team, and then ended up with them being like, well, we can just take from LP, and then on V2 they have 1% that goes to development. So it's kind of like they would have made that money, and they kind of deserve to in a sense for having a successful project, but it's how they went about getting it, as if it was just literally stealing from the liquidity pool, whether it was announced or not. Because I'm sure you saw that post with John the other day that said that he did announce it in the Discord, that I think half of that 5% on Bitmart was going to be going to development.
Do you have that link? I'll pull it up right now. I want to pull up that post because that post was ridiculous. And by the way, it was on April 21st, which is the all-time high of Safemoon, which is what I said originally, is that you can't make a statement that late anyways. But he said like 2.5% is is locked, 2.5% is unlocked. That's also not true. That was not a correct statement. That he just made that up. And then the same day said something completely different on Twitter. So he made a public statement on Discord and said this whole thing about the half locked, half unlocked. By the way, can you DM me that thing so I can pull it up? Can someone DM me that tweet? Or
yeah, if somebody else has
link?
it. I was going to share it and then I didn't share it, so I don't have it.
Because it's preposterous. I mean, what he said is insane. Hold on one sec. Let's see. I'm waiting for someone to send me that. But yeah, so your question about, what doesn't the team need to pay themselves and da-da-da-da-da. Look, the whole thing is this. If you promise one thing and then the core thing is a lie, and then you profit millions of dollars from a lie, it's sort of like too bad, so sad. I mean, this is what Thomas was saying in his thing. He goes, well, I guess this is the cost of being like successful. And I was like, no, this is not the cost of being successful. This is the cost of lying from the very beginning. It's like, it's two very different realities. You know what I mean? So of course, like if they had been, I've said it a million times, if they had just said and disclosed what the real situation was, I don't think they would have been able to get off the ground because their white paper wouldn't have aligned with their mission, which is safely to the moon, that whole thing. They would have, if they had disclosed from the start that it's not a real thing. By the way, we have the post here from this guy, Brian, aka Safemoon OG. Thank you, Brian, for getting this up. He says, okay, again, this is April 21st, the all-time high, real quick. Let's go over this. So this is, Safemooners have been saying, John disclosed it, whatever. Okay, so April 21st, he goes, the locked ones are locked. The unlocked ones are either locked away. We've been doing this manually. Or to seed dexes or dev costs. He says the same thing in an AMA. So far, we have been fortunate not to need it for dev costs. Okay, this is false because they've already paid people through the Kyle wallet. So, again, this is Coroni lying because they've already been taking from the LP. This is basically saying, look, we've got unlocked LP, locked LP. They should both still be in the liquidity pool. We can take this locked part and pay devs or seed exchanges. They've already taken money from the LP, but he's saying they didn't need it. And they took money way before they had any other kind of seeding, dexes, or anything like that, need for that. So that's also wrong. He says, we by default lock half away and leave the other half untouched in case it is needed. It's called creating manageable growth. I love that. People need to do their research. That Twitter post is biased, 10% tax, 5% to the holders, 5% to the LP. 5% LP is split. 2.5% goes to the locked LP. The other 2.5% is manually locked or left alone if needed for dev costs. Wrong. 2.5% does not. He's implying 2.5% goes to the locked LP automatically. Wouldn't you say that's the implication there? Because he's saying 2.5% is going to the locked LP and the other 2.5% is manually locked. That's not true. 2.5% was never automatically locked, ever. That's never been true. And it definitely wasn't true then when he's saying that. So what do you think the Safemooners are saying when posting this? Because this is John Coroni lying.
Oh, what was the question? Sorry.
I'm saying, why do you think, because I've been seeing this like, hey, he addressed it, but this is a lie.
I think the thing that they're saying is like, oh, he said he was going to use the LP for dev costs, so therefore.
But I already, no. He said that in the AMAs, but I've already said that was April 21st, the all-time high of Safemoon. If you disclose it April 21st, it doesn't make a bit of difference. I mean, it doesn't matter at that point. And then, by the way, part of what I've been trying to explain is that like they were saying a lot of things, and unless you have a clear statement, if you just issue misleading statement after misleading statement, and all of a sudden you can point to one statement that was like half true, you go, aha, see, they corrected it. It's like, no, they were issuing contradictory statements the entire time. Here's something I want you to square with me. Are you watching the YouTube? Just watch the YouTube visually, because I need to show you these things.
It's delayed, but I am watching it, yeah.
So Caroni says the LP lock is not automatic, but automated on April 21st. At the same time, also on April 21st, I don't know if you can see that, that's April 21st, 2021, same day, he says the LP is manually locked. So is it manual or automated or automatic or automagical? Because they've said all four things.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
But this is Caroni. This is the hero. This is the hero of Safemoon, the guy who kicked all the bad apples out. Why would he mislead people? So either he's stupid and doesn't understand how his own project works, which I doubt. I think Caroni's much smarter than that. I'll give him a lot more credit than that. Or the only other conclusion is that he's purposely misleading the Safemoon army, which, why would he do that?
Well, based on those conversations that you've had with Thomas and that have come out, it made it sound like they wanted the LP to be locked and John wanted access to it to use it for funding the team and possibly, I don't know, paying themselves.
But what I'm saying, though, is that but you're saying, okay, there was a split on the team. I'm saying even Caroni himself is being inconsistent with himself. On the same exact day, he's saying the LP lock is not automatic, but automated. Automated and automatic is not the same thing. And then he says it's manually locked. How can we square those two things? Here, manually locked. Why would he say it's manually locked here and automatic, not automated, if he's not trying to purposely muddy the waters, or he just doesn't understand what's going on? Like, one of these things has to be true. And then there's this whole confusing thing about the LP is split. Look at this. 2.5% goes to the locked LP. The other 2.5% is manually locked and left alone. So again, that sort of implies, is that the automated lock he's talking about? Because if that's true, that's also false. No matter how you interpret this, there's no way to interpret it other than John Caroni was lying. And then you have to decide, was he accidentally lying or was he willfully lying? If he's accidentally lying, he's stupid and doesn't understand his own project. If he's purposefully lying, that's a big problem too. It's a bigger problem, obviously.
So do you know a rough estimate of how much you think Caroni took?
I'm in the process of getting that together, so I found some more stuff, but I'm going to wait till Caroni responds. I want Caroni to respond first, but there's actually more. It's bad. It's bad. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's bad. So I don't want to talk about it yet. I am not ready to reveal what I found yet.
Yeah, that was like the nail in the coffin that we were talking about yesterday. And I think that's the most important part. It's like, and I think a lot of people that are listening to you are like, okay, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with everything you're saying. I'll be honest with you. I may not come to the same conclusion on the future as Safemoon, but with John, I'm like, I just need to see what those numbers actually are before I can, for myself, decide how bad was it. Was it like, oh, they took a little bit for themselves and they used most of it for development? Or was it like, nah, they're buying themselves $1 million houses and cars and stuff? And what kind of impact it had on the price? Because, I feel like that'll all give the Safemoon army a really good idea of how bad it is. So I guess I'm kind of waiting for that. I don't want to take up too much more time. And I appreciate you letting me come up here.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yep.
I want someone to explain this part. Someone's got to explain this 24, because I'm like appalled by this. Generation Crypto, I know you're another Safemoon. You said you were willing to come on yesterday. If you're willing to come on today, great. Hey, man, how's it going?
Good. If you give me 1 second, I'm going to try to record this for my own audience, if that's okay.
Sure.
Give me
no
2 seconds before I... Okay, I've got it recording here. It's not
all right.
anything. I'll just upload it later.
Welcome to the CoffeeZilla Safemoon Safe Space. We're talking about whether Safemoon is a fraud. Now, I want to kind of pick up... I don't know if you've been following this whole thing about Caroni and his statements about the LP. Obviously, some people were saying yesterday, no, he did disclose what was going on in the LP. Obviously, he disclosed April 21st at the all-time high of Safemoon, which is way too late in my opinion. But then we flagged this fact that he seems to be clearly contradicting himself here, and also either is outright wrong or seems to be lying. Have you been following this, or do you want me to go through it again? Where should we start?
I just want to make sure we're on the same page. You're talking about the Discord chats from the 21st of April last year, right?
Yes, and combined with the Twitter posts about the LP lock as well, which are saying two different things.
Yeah, I'm on the same page with you on that. I think there was a lot of inconsistencies early on. When I started covering SafeMoon, I think my first video on it was back in April, I believe, or early May.
Mm-hmm.
I was not aware of most of this going on, obviously, right? Otherwise, I'd be asking the same questions. As things kind of progressed, when we got to the first wallet release, or rather what was supposed to be the wallet release that was built up and then ended up being botched, and then they had major delays, and eventually they got the wallet that we got after Ryan came on board. Obviously, after that started to kind of play out, Thomas left the team. All these other people were leaving the team. There was a lot of uncertainty behind closed doors. I was like, what the heck is going on with all this? This doesn't add up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after investigating, looking into it a little bit more, obviously I did not go nearly as deep into this as you did. I kind of came to the conclusion, I feel like most other people that were involved with Safemoon kind of came to that same conclusion, that there was nefarious acts going on behind the scenes, but we didn't have all of, because there was just a lot of he said, she said between different people pointing the finger at each other. So it was really hard to dictate who was right, who was wrong, who's saying the correct thing, who's saying the not the correct thing, who's lying, and who's telling the truth. And so I guess the general consensus that kind of came out for most Safemoon holders at the time was, okay, obviously there was things going on with Kyle, which I don't think we knew the name of Kyle at the time until a little bit later than that. There was things going on with Thomas. All these people have now left the team. It seems like John's at the helm with Ryan, and they're trying to kind of get things back in order, making sure that there's an actual wallet release, making sure that products are actually being developed. And of course, I'm talking about, this is my mindset at the end of last year, right before this year. And I think that was kind of my mindset and many other people's mindset, is there was bad actors on board. Safemoon was initially designed as a rug pull. A lot of bad actions were going on behind the scenes. And it seems like now there's kind of been an entire shift on the development team, and they are trying to move forward with what is looking like a legitimate project moving forward. And I think that's kind of the sentiment that a lot of people in Safemoon held, obviously, until you started coming forward with a lot of questions and concerns. Personally, I am not, and I've said this a lot because I've had a lot of disagreements with different people within the Safemoon community, I am not a Safemoon exclusive content creator, and I never was. I've always talked about a large array of cryptocurrencies, and I always like to look at things from a neutral position, and I don't like to kind of stick my head in the sand and only look at the good and not look at the bad, right? So if I get information that shows that there's bad actors or bad involvement with a project, I want to learn more about that, and I want to show my audience that information. I don't want to just say, don't look at that, just look over here because we're going to the moon, if that makes sense. Before getting involved with crypto, I was heavily into stocks and some other forms of trading, and so I don't like to look at that perspective of having just a strictly biased position, because I've learned the hard way by doing that. You ignore reality, and then reality comes to bite you because you weren't paying attention to all the facts. So I'm always open to hearing all the facts and trying to take a neutral position on what those are, and then trying to make a educated decision moving forward instead of an emotional decision on my investments.
Okay, but what do you think about this?
As far as that goes, yeah, I agree with you. It doesn't add up, and I would love answers. I think one of the biggest concerns I have personally with the development team statement, especially John, is that they're not as transparent as they could be, especially on things like this. I think that, he should have already come out and addressed a lot of these things.
But this isn't a matter of transparency, right? Because if I say the sky's blue one day and then the same day I issue a statement that says the sky's red, either I'm confused, massively confused, or I'm lying, or I'm willfully muddying the waters by making completely contradictory statements. These two statements on Twitter and on Discord that were given the same day by the same guy cannot both be true at the same time. And by the way, they're also inconsistent with the actual truth, which is that none of the LP was locked. So, and if any part of it was locked, it was done manually only, where this does not imply that. It says 2.5% goes to the locked LP, 2.5 is manually locked. That implies there's some kind of automatic portion of the LP. That was never true, right? And 2.5% didn't continue to go to the manual lock, and there's no evidence that it ever did. And then there were a few locks, but those quickly stopped, as you know. And then on this side, he says the lock is automatic but not automated. But Thomas, the former CTO, says, no, it wasn't. It was clearly manual. because I was the one doing it. Clearly manual, not true. So my question to you is John Caroni confused or is he lying on April 21st?
Obviously, I can't speak for him. We can only speculate.
No, right. Your speculation. What do you think, given this evidence?
From the time frame back then, I would have just assumed that there was a lot of communication on the back end, that they had changed their minds several times in the direction they wanted to take things, and that's why there were so many contradictions. Is because they wanted to go a certain direction. There was internal fighting, as we see from all the audio, video calls you've listened to and shown.
But this isn't about direction. This is about a fact of how Safemoon was set up, because this is telling people just literally how the contract works. This isn't about opinions about where the Safemoon should go. That's like whether we lock it up or not. This is just literally how the contract works. It seems to not is not being communicated here.
Yeah. So I would think it's kind of what you said. There's one of two options. Either John had no idea what was going on and was unable to communicate effectively what the actual situation was, or there was bad actions behind that. And I personally, obviously as a holder, I would love to assume that it was just because he was confused at the time and didn't understand what was going on, because that paints a better light. But yeah, there's always a possibility that there was nefarious actions going on.
What do you think? What other thoughts do you have on Safemoon? Let's move on from that. Let's talk about some other thoughts on Safemoon.
Yeah. So as far as Safemoon goes, obviously I would like to have John come out and give great explanations as to where this money was going, why it was going that direction, and because I think a lot of what you brought up is valid. I think all of the questions you're asking are valid questions to be asking. I think not that there's an issue, but I think that there's the people that you talk to, right? Like Thomas, for example, we know that he has lied left, right, up, down, and center, and contradicted himself multiple times over the course of the existence of SafeMoon. He'd say one thing and then directly contradict himself in his next public statements on the exact same topic. So it's hard to use him as a primary source when is he telling the truth and when is he not telling the truth. And if it is true that he was involved and was, stealing LP, or was involved with Kyle stealing LP and all that stuff, it would make sense for him to try to paint himself in a better light and paint someone else in a negative light, because it gets the target off of his own back, right?
Wait, but I feel like you're making my case. I want you to say something that you feel like either you disagree with me with, or you think is an unheard point from the Safemoon. I want to hear the Safemoon point of view, right? I didn't come on to have people say, they think I might be right about certain things. I want to know, what do you think the Safemoon army said that is not being heard? Because I'm trying to hear from the Safemoon army. That's the whole point of this.
100%, yeah. And like I said to you before, I agree with a lot of the questions you're asking. So it's hard for me. I don't have answers to it because I'm not on the development team, and I want answers to those questions as well. I think at the end of the day, what needs to happen is John needs to come forward and address a lot of these concerns. Obviously, right now they've brought a lot of people on board the team that have great potential, and they've got a large resume. So there's a lot of people saying, this is just what I'm hearing from other people in the community. Why are these people, with large resumes coming on board, dealing with the company if all this bad action was going on behind the scenes? So I would like to know the answer to those questions as well. I would like to have John come forward and then address, what is the Gabe wallet? Why was this money going where it was? Why was this going the direction that it was going? And I would hope that he has great answers for those questions so that can alleviate a lot of concerns a lot of people have. But I don't have good answers for a lot of this, and that's why I've remained neutral on this concern. I'm not necessarily pro Safemoon right now or against Safemoon right now. I just would like to have some answers so I can make a better decision moving forward.
That's crazy to me. I feel like, yeah. Okay, interesting. Well, I'm interested in your point of view. Listen, I'm going to get people on who are more explicitly pro Safemoon. I understand you're not negative, but I still want to get people on who are like explicitly pro Safemoon. So thank you for coming on. I'm going to move to somebody else if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Okay, let's have somebody else on. Let's make sure. I want to bring on people who feel like they haven't been heard, feel like I've gotten something incorrect. If they want to say it. Geolocated pasta. What's up, man? How are you doing?
All right.
Sir?
Hi. Give me a second.
No problem.
Can you hear me?
Time you need. Yes, I can. Hello.
I don't think that's working.
Oh, I can hear you. Hello? I can hear you. Hello. Geolocated pasta. Hello. Tell the people.
Hello?
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay, yeah, we seem to have some issues there. We're going to move on to Alan. Oh, Safemoon Sam. Sorry, Alan. We'll get back to you. The fact this guy had Safemoon in his name, I have to talk to this guy. Safemoon Sam, hello. How are you doing, sir?
What's up, baby? I knew you were gonna call on me because I had the in my name. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. I want to have an open, respectful dialogue with Safemoon people. So what are we talking about today?
All right, so I'd like to start off by the point in your video where you said that Safemoon claimed that they produced the turbines in their tech demo. Remember when you said that?
Can you point me to the part of the video?
Yeah, the Semtech point of the video where you entered the Semtech CEO and you're like, well, Safemoon claimed to make this, and this looks like a pretty good turbine, but in reality, they ordered it from Semtech. Remember that?
No. Where in the video? Where in the video? Can you timestamp it to me?
I'm mobile right now. I'm sure you remember it. Your video is 35 minutes long. I spent like 2 days.
I'll find it for you. I'll find it for you. I'll find it for you. Let's go to it real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm not watching on YouTube, FYI, so I can't see anything that you're doing. I'm just here in Discord remotely.
No. Yeah, totally fine. I'll pull it up for you. So let's pull it up. So pull it up. I think it was around the 21-minute mark. Sorry, guys. I'm going to pull it up real quick.
Sounds about right. Something around 60% of the way in, probably.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to play real quick. Hold on one sec. We'll listen to it. It's this second model. He talks a big game, but he kind of lacks the track record. Let's start with the Gambian wind farms. Remember that this is that Project Phoenix thing we heard so much about.
Welcome, Safemoon Army and the wider tech audience to your Operation Phoenix reveal. Let's start with wind. We've given you a lot of teasers regarding the wind turbines, but here are the details. The use of wind power has proven viable, and just as small plane wings have evolved over the years, so can the physical designs of turbines.
Now wait a second. I know what you're thinking. That wind turbine, it looks pretty good actually. And that's because it's someone else's wind turbine. So I say, hey, I know what you're thinking. That wind turbine looks pretty good. We're talking about Project Phoenix. I play John Caroni, because I know you can't hear, so I'll tell you. I play John Caroni's thing where he's saying wind turbines can evolve. This is Operation Phoenix reveal, all this stuff. And then I say, oh, that face, not good. And I say, I know what you're thinking. That's wind turbine looks pretty good. And then I say, that's because it's not their wind turbine. That's what I say. So what's your point?
Yeah, my point is initially and right away, and in fact, I made a video on this, and I'm not perfect either. I'm sure you acknowledge that you messed up the $102 million because you guys forgot to include all the successful migrations, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Rather, we're going to talk about how it seemed like you were alluding that they were.
We can talk about that.
Let's focus on one thing at a time, right? So you alluded that the Safemoon team claimed that they had produced the turbine initially. Rather, if you actually look in their Safemoon Discord, which I know you're a part of, you can see and you can do the search of John saying, we just ordered the turbines and we're waiting for them to be delivered. And they also included the fact that saying, we don't produce these, but we're innovating on them.
Right. That was the whole point of that segment. Did you listen to it, Sam?
No, my point is you claimed that they didn't produce the turbines in their tech demo, right?
Which is true. You're admitting that's true.
Correct. But they never claimed to have produced them. They claimed to try to innovate on what they bought and take it. Okay, let's see what happens when we change the turbine this way. Let's see what happens when we change this. And then you go on to say, well, those dots, those divots in the turbine, I'm not sure if that really works. I'm going to have to see some proof on that, fellas. Well, again, in my video, I played a special from, I think it was like NBC or whoever it was, and it was a special about golf balls. And with these golf balls, by adding the divots, you're removing drag and adding more lift force to it. So it's not something that's like crazy pseudoscience, like the way you make it seem. In reality, there's actually a lot of scientific thought about it. And it's like, this isn't crazy. This is actually there's room for innovation. Maybe I'm not saying it's perfect, but I am saying that there is some scientific evidence to say, yeah, there's potentially something here, and maybe we should look at it, right? They never claimed to have produced the turbine up front. Rather, they said, we ordered them, we're waiting for them to be delivered, and we're trying to innovate with what we have purchased. That's a big difference than you saying they alluded that they produced them, and yet they're ordering from someone and passing it off as their own.
Where did I
They never
say
did
that, though? Where did I say that?
You're alluding to it. You're saying that they didn't produce what they're showing off. They never alluded to. They never said that. They never said we produced this turbine from scratch.
But
They
you're
never did
saying
that.
I said they said that.
You're alluding to it. It's your tone of voice. It's like,
Where?
oh,
Where?
look at this product. You're saying, look at this product. Oh wait, they didn't make it. They didn't make it. Semtech made it. Like,
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
No. Wait. Hold on. I'm saying they said Operation Phoenix. We're gonna do this big reveal. We're gonna wind turbines are the future, and then smaller wind turbines are really the future. And then they show this thing, which is not theirs, which is a true fact. And then I show the guy who made it. I think that's relevant, right? Because the whole part of this segment is about how Safemoon has a pattern of their so-called innovations are really taking from what someone else did and then kind of slapping something that's very superficial, maybe a tiny improvement, but is not actually like that relevant, and just sort of calling it theirs, right? Or calling it like basically trying to make it like, oh, this is like a Safemoon thing now. This is what they did with B Token, right? Like you can't call Safemoon like, it's not a true fork because Kyle, he kind of slapped he slapped some changes on it, right? He changed the fee structure a little bit. The same is true with this wind turbine. It's like they take a existing wind turbine, they kind of slap some dots on it, and they go, "Hey, look, some nanotechnology."
Okay. I get your point. I get your point.
And then I also showed the crypto wallet, where it's like it's Trust Wallet, slap a little sticker on it.
Again, wrong. One step at a time. Again, we knew all the time before you even came out, there's Discord users in our Safemoon Discord who literally went to the Semtech office and took a picture of the turbine. There's no nano layer coatings or whatever you want to call it. There's no efficiencies added to those blades. They just have a regular straight edge blade. And what Safemoon purported to do was saying, we're going to buy these turbines and then we're going to try to make these blades better. What you're saying is like they didn't make the turbines from scratch.
Why are you so mad? I don't understand.
I'm not,
why you're
bro.
So mad.
Listen, just hear me out. Again, and as far as we've always known that Safemoon Dev copied the fucking B token. You're not presenting anything we don't know, and you're processing it and presenting it to your viewers in a way that you're like, oh, well, look what I found out. No, man, we knew this. And frankly, I don't like Kyle. Frankly, we don't like anyone from the initial team. I'm happy they're gone, right? And have you found anything relating to personal use? Because as far as I've seen, what you did was you're like, all right, we found John's wallet, right?
Did you know about that wallet before?
Listen, hear me out. You said we found John's wallet.
You just said all of it was old. You just said wait, hold on one second. I can't let you go through this because you just said it's all old FUD, and I just asked you, did you know that it had any connection to John's wallet? Did you know about that wallet at all?
You mean, correction, as your witnesses, Papa in this case, said, that's not John's wallet. That is a company wallet. Correct or not? Did he say that?
No, he said three things. He said 6ABE is John's wallet. If you watch the video, I explained it to you.
And then I did.
Calm down, buddy. Then he says, right. He says, hey, in the call, he says, hey, it's a Safemoon or Tano wallet. And then he goes, 6ABE is a Tano wallet confirmed. These are all things I showed you guys. So again, I'm going to ask you, did you know any of this?
Wait. I let you speak. Fucking let me speak, Coffee.
No, you haven't. You've been ranting. You've been screaming. Listen, did you know this?
Okay, we have confirmed through Papa that is a Tano company wallet. Have you proved that he's been using it for personal gains? That's what I want to know.
Safemoon Sam, take a breath. Tell me,
dude,
that old FUD?
Answer the question. Answer.
Is that old FUD? Is that old FUD or is it new FUD? Just tell me which FUD it is,
I
Sam.
didn't say it's old FUD. I'm asking you, did you prove a company wallet?
You just told me, hey, you're just telling us stuff we already knew in the Discord. Clearly, you didn't know this. So I will answer your question when you answer mine. So you didn't know that.
I'm not talking about. I was talking about the turbine. We knew about the turbine. We knew who made it months before you even brought it up. All right. We knew Safemoon Dev copied B token. And in fact, I'm pretty sure you even showed it in the website where it says that this is a fork from B token. And then you're claiming to present new evidence. But anyway, Side
Where did I say
tangent.
that was new evidence? I said it's a Safemoon documentary. Do you think every documentary starts at where where all the people who have obsessed with the topics know about? No, you have to present people the whole story. You have to present people a cohesive story. You keep saying I present things as if I actually say them, but you're reading so far into it. This is what Safemoon does to your brain. You're going you said they did. No, I didn't. You're saying, you're saying you're presenting new things. I didn't say that was a new thing. You said,
No, but
we
you
all knew
alluded
about all
that
this. No, you didn't. So let's address the Gabe wallet now.
right?
Now that you've admitted you didn't know it, which is fine. Nobody said that's not a problem.
Is it a company wallet? Confirmed, right? Company wallet confirmed. Personal use from company funds, is that confirmed? I'm asking you now. You said you did more research. Answer the fucking question, please.
Okay, Sam, calm down. Again, that's a separate piece I'm putting together right now. This thing about the 6ABE wallet, listen to me. Just if you stop talking, because you keep saying you're going to listen, you ask these questions, and then you immediately start screaming. So let me answer. So the 6ABE wallet, I said, got its money from Bitmart, right? I said there's this whole question about Bitmart, because obviously they're saying they're putting money back into the liquidity pool, and clearly that is not the case. So I say, look at this fact that a John-controlled wallet is profiting from Safemoon from clearly sold LP tokens, which were never supposed to be sold, right? I asked Papa, I said, look, if you're selling money to Bitmart and you're making millions, right? We know Safemoon's making millions. We know Bitmart's making millions. Who's losing millions? Investors, which means the only way you can actually make that right is putting that money back into the LP. What I said is that money's meant for the LP. Bitmart clearly says it. It was never put back in the LP. So, and by the way, Tano, why is it in Tano's wallet? Why is it not in a SafeMoon wallet? So again, what I'm saying to you is we have clear evidence that the team has misappropriated funds.
No, what you have evidence of is a company-owned management wallet that you are claiming is being used for Tano, which is a management company,
which is not Safemoon, right?
Can I fucking speak? I let you talk for 3 minutes, and then you interrupt me, and then you accuse me of constantly interrupting you. Let me speak, bro. For fuck's sake, you have confirmed through Papa that wallet is a company wallet used for management funds. He doesn't know what Tano is as of right now, how many employees, because he's out of the circle, right? However, what you have confirmed, or allegedly confirmed, is that Bitmart is sending funds to a company wallet that is supposed to be managing the Safemoon for them, right? As a subsidiary or as whatever you want to call it, right? But you have not proved personal use. You have not proved what that money is there for. And in fact, if you actually think about it, when Safemoon is creating its own exchange, what are you going to need to do? You're going to have to provide liquidity for several different pairings. And when you do that, you're going to have funds in a wallet set up ready to deploy for those things. You have not proved personal use whatsoever. I was looking forward to your video. I really did. And when you passed off certain things like this is the way it is, and look at this guy, he's Safemoon Soldier, and it's so sad. He's supporting this token that's robbing him. Dude, if you had known, if you spent a day on Twitter, you would see Safemoon Soldier talking shit about Safemoon and John and the team every single day of his life. So presenting these certain things in a way and then saying oh, this turbine, look at this turbine. They claimed that they produced it, and this is their tech demo.
But wait, you keep. Where did I say they claim they produced it? You keep saying
you said
saying things. Listen,
you said this is their tech demo, but they didn't produce the turbine in the tech demo, right or wrong?
What? No. You just said I claim they produced it. Where did I claim they produced it? Let me address this Tano stuff because we've gone in circle. We've sorry.
You said, but wait, they didn't produce the turbine that's in their tech demo. You said it's someone else's turbine, right?
I said, wow, that turbine, I know what you're thinking. That turbine looks pretty good. It's their big Operation Phoenix reveal. I say that's because it's not their turbine. These are facts. You keep saying I'm alluding to things. You keep saying you're alluding to it. You're alluding to it. No, I'm not. By the way, explain to me why Kyle is getting a $3 million payout from John Caroni's wallet or John Caroni's controlled wallet.
Speculate. You mean speculate, because that's what all of this is. It's speculation. So I can speculate that Kyle was paid off to fuck off.
I mean, I have the blockchain I have the blockchain transactions.
Right, but you don't know why. is my point. You're speculating the motives. You're speculating personal use, yet you have not proved personal use. You have confirmed a company wallet, but not confirmed the reasons, the rationale, or why it exists there, right? So
Sam,
personally, and as far as
Sam, let me just ask you, because you're very upset. Let me just ask you: Do you think SafeMoon started as a fraud?
It's the personal abuse input. I'm not upset. I think I don't trust anyone that Ginger, who is known in the RBTC in their Discord, to have said, I hope all these people who support SafeMoon lose all their money so they can't support any other part of DeFi. He's saying SafeMooners don't think they're a bunch of Mountain Dew chugging, mouth breathing Kyles. Like, it's a fucking joke. These are the friends, and it's also the rats that abandoned ship as soon as seemingly any form of like legitimacy started approaching. So I'm sorry, I don't trust them. And you're using a thief and known people who have literally rug pulled via like flavors and like piggy token. Like, these are the people.
Who are you talking about? Who are you referring to?
And the old team that had left SafeMoon and now are like now continuing to rug pull other projects as they create them, i.e. Piggy. It's a failure. And those are the people that you're holding up as the arbiters of truth and as your witnesses.
Do you think that Thomas doesn't know what he's talking about?
Honestly, with all due respect to Thomas, he can say whatever he says. Did you post a 2-hour-long video of discussion with Thomas? Because I thought I saw that, and I was going to watch that. But then when I went back to find it, I couldn't find it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's in the chat. Yeah, I literally put it in the main description of the video above the fold. I said, watch the full call here. It's a 2-hour-long call, uncut. Because everyone was telling me, oh, you're going to cut it out of context. So I was like, oh, I'll just post the whole call. I don't care.
No, which one is that? Is that in the original video or the follow-up where you have
the second video? It doesn't take long to find. It's the second video. There's a 2-hour call. Go ahead, listen to it. Tell me what you think. In it,
but anyway,
you've got hold on one second. You've got the former CTO talking about the fact that he got. So let's just walk this back a little bit, okay? So we have to look at this holistically. Because what you're trying to say is, okay, you haven't proved this, you haven't proved that. Here's what you need to look at SafeMoon as. They said, we can't touch the LP, we're never gonna do that, right? They should have never been able to do that. They start, basically, the company starts profiting millions of dollars. People on SafeMoon, the team, start also profiting millions of dollars. We have evidence of this. We know Ben Phillips did this, right? I don't think even you would argue with that.
We don't like Ben Phillips. Yeah, I don't argue.
No. Just hold on. Let me build up my case. You have Kyle taking millions from the LP, right? And he then gives a bunch of that. If you trace his transaction, he gives a bunch of that to Papa. He not only gives a personal payment to Papa, but he funds a lot of the second wallet that owns SafeMoon. That wallet then sends millions of SafeMoon, I think trillions of SafeMoon, to Coroni. The Tano wallet. Okay. So regardless of how you want to think about it, the money that you're talking about that it's like, oh, whatever, it's just spent for whatever reasons, the Gambian wind farms, whatever they want to use it on. Those are illegitimate funds that belong to investors. When you take that money out, it drives the price down. The whole purpose of SafeMoon was that you were supposed to go safely to the moon. All of that's a lie, and you don't care. You don't care about any of that. Okay, and I'm baffled. I'm baffled because I'm like Sam, you're screaming about this is a legit thing. And it's like, how it started as a rug pull.
You don't want to hear my opinion if you're going to talk over me constantly. That's the fact of the matter. You're chasing clout if you're chasing the influencers and not the people who are theoretically responsible. And I want to also leave you with this. You're trying to talk to someone while also acknowledging that there's a lawsuit and potential FBI investigation. Do you think he's able to talk about certain things? Or do you think the legal team is going to prevent him from speaking on certain things because there's a literal fucking ongoing lawsuit, which I provided an update, which I thought you would call the lawyers. I called the lawyers. I called the FBI. I made moves that I was expecting you to do. But it's cool. Like, you can say I'm a fucking idiot, but the point of the matter is, I've never said that. No, it's cool. It's cool. But the people you present and bring up on stage in your videos, like Ginger, are totally known for frauds. Like, these guys are known to fucking scam people, and you're using them as an explanation to the community who both know and don't know SafeMoon. And in fact, I think a lot of the people who have watched your video don't know SafeMoon. They don't know the community. They weren't part of the discussions that we were all a part of for over a year. And for you guys to just shove these guys and like act as if they're the arbiters of truth, it's wrong. It's totally like, these are snakes in the grass that have never wished us any goodwill. They've in fact
So
also
who you're calling
tried to
safe?
leverage the
Like you
SafeMoon
keep
brand
focusing on
themselves.
Ginger. I had several people on. I had as many people on as would talk to me and seemed like they wanted to talk about the history of SafeMoon. I had multiple times, I think twice before I put out my video, I said publicly, I'm going to have a Twitter space. I'll let anyone come on, positive or negative. And if you have something to say about SafeMoon, you have something like, you can explain to me why it's not a fraud, I want to include that. I talked to a lot of former employees, by the way. Most of them said, I don't want to talk. Most of them said, if I talk, Coroni's going to sue me. Most of them said, there's no way I can talk about this. So you're saying like, oh, you biasly, you only presented one side of the story, right? I tried to talk to people like you. I hosted multiple open spaces. You didn't show up, Sam. You're showing up in the 9th hour going, why didn't you talk to people like me? It's like, well, because either you refused to talk or you were like saying, don't include me in the video.
Turning the conversation, you're shifting the Overton window to something completely irrelevant. You're acting as if I dance when you tell me to dance. No, I have a life. I have a job. I'm involved in real estate. I'm involved in politics. I'm involved in so many different assets of society that I don't dance when you tell me to dance. You presented an hour-long window or whatever it may have been and expected me to know about it. No, that's not the way it works. Just the same way that you're saying John misrepresented certain facts just because he said something in Discord but didn't change it on the website. Like, I agree, SafeMoon has a communications problem, but it's not the way that you're presenting it, and you're really omitting a lot of information when you say certain things. You're presenting the information.
Can you explain the Discord
in a
thing?
way,
I want
like,
you to explain the Discord thing. No one's been able to do it so far. If you have a good explanation, I want to hear it.
Sure. What point of the Discord? I'm saying they talked about whether or not they should have locked liquidity at the time. They're like, well, right now we have this locked, but should we unlock it? Should we use a portion of funds to help, whether it be, it was at the time there was a spike in COVID cases in India. They're like, should we can like use a portion of the LP to help these people. What do you guys think? And the majority of us said, no, this is our funds. Some people were saying, yeah, but like other people were saying, we'd rather have that money in reflections. We'd rather have this money used as this or as that. And you're acting as if we didn't know that certain parts of the LP were locked or unlocked. These are all discussions that we as a community had in the Discord. Did everyone get a chance to speak their opinion? No. Everyone is busy. Not everyone gets a chance to table their opinions and to present it in a way that, gives the opportunity for the executives to listen. However, the executives have listened. And I've been in Twitter spaces where the HR team and like just random members from that level come in and listen and be like, well, hey, we appreciate you guys talking about this or that, or make sure you like they do listen and we do listen and we are a part of certain conversations that you haven't been a part of. And the people who have been feeding you information are literally using you as a weaponized attack, whether or not you are, working with them or you're just serving your own personal interests.
Wait. Working with it? Do you think I'm working with? Who do you think I'm working with?
No, don't worry about it. I'm just saying you gave credit to people who have like literally not had a SafeMoon bag for so long, and all they do is literally.
I want to talk to everyone. I want to talk to people. Look, you can get mad about Ginger, or whatever. He's an ex SafeMoon Discord moderator. I talked to multiple ex Discord SafeMoon moderators.
Which means what?
Well,
which means what?
In that case, he had specific conversations with multiple members of the team. Now, again, I talked to multiple people. I talked to multiple moderators. I talked to several employees. You're like making it sound like, oh, you just talked to one side. Who are you working with? It's like, what are you talking about, man? I just talked to people. I would have liked to talk to you, Sam. You were busy with politics and real estate. You're too busy for me. That's fine. Yeah,
man, I'm here now. People were asking why wasn't I here last time? Well, because I was premiering a video on something that like I wasn't available. And so this time I got pinged and here I am. So with given time, given heads up, I will be here. However, I didn't appreciate the way you framed certain and contextualized certain information because you made it seem like, and you may disagree and be like, well, I didn't say that. Well, just like you alluded to certain facts that were not facts, that were misrepresentations of the reality, as if like saying John said that we produce 100% of these. They never said that. They said we're buying these, we're waiting on delivery, and we're going to try to innovate using them. Right. And then another thing is the Operation Phoenix reveal with, I think he's your team member. I don't know who he was or what his relationship is to you, but saying like, oh, John doesn't even know what Operation Phoenix is. As you're editing down and selectively editing the Operation Phoenix reveal, where they broke down how the mesh networks and the wind turbines all work cohesively. Well, and I can go into more detail into that, but like to someone that has both a detail-oriented view, but also a big picture type of view, like I understand what the goal is. You may say it's crazy, it's too wild, it's unbelievable, but like if you actually take a step back and be like, well, Africa has, especially the Gambia, has the highest electrical prices anywhere in the world, basically, and that's for a myriad of reasons. And not only that, they already have the hookups for wind turbines infrastructure because they had a government-owned wind farm that failed because of corruption reasons, but that infrastructure is still existing, and we can utilize certain things, and people who want to transact in those countries already have cell phones. Well, but they don't have is a stable internet connection. What they don't have is stable power. So if we were to offer them a way to repeat that internet signal, if we were offering them a way to power those devices, to give them a more solid signal, and not only that, but power their cell phone, well, now we are giving them the tools and the infrastructure that they need to transact both domestically and internationally, which is what their governments have basically asked for. So like you can act like it's really crazy in this like unbelievable thing, or you can be like, well, some of this is actually grounded in like reality, just like the divots on the turbine. Well, this sounds crazy, and I'm gonna have to see some scientific evidence. Well, it's scientific fact that a golf ball without any divots goes half the distance as a golf ball with divots. So if you change the structure and the material and the way that airflow interacts with an object, it's going to go further or not go as far based on the way you shape it, based on the way that the airflow interacts with that object.
Let me ask you, Sam, because you've just gone on a 5-minute rant. Let me ask you, do you think Safemoon's like the first to let's just say this technology is amazing and real? Why do you think Safemoon's the first people that thought of putting Sharpie dots on their wind turbine?
Sure.
Why do you think nobody else has figured this out? Do you think like Caroni and the boys sat down, put their big brain thinking caps on, and just like figured it out?
Yeah, there's something called risk and opportunity cost. I'm making a game, and you probably be the type of YouTuber to cover my game and be like, it's a scam, bro. But I'm making a game. It's currently shelved because I'm working on raising funds for that game. But I made most of it, but from each other, right? Why hasn't anyone done that? Well, because I'm willing to take the risks that other people are not. I'm a small fry in a big pond, and I can stick my neck out without having to worry about it getting chopped off. I can take risks both legally, and I have a lawyer who has done a fundamental legal analysis on the game, who specializes in skill-based gaming. And yet there are people who are like, this is a scam. And that's because you don't understand.
How
you don't
many
bother
things
to ask
do you do, Sam? You seem to do a lot. You do politics, you do real estate, you make video games, Safemoon.
Well,
what else?
Again, my game isn't published yet. The PC game is what I was just speaking out. That I created, I'd say virtually 90% of it is ready for beta launch, and a game engine update came out, broke half the networking code, and so rather than us spending another allocated whatever point of time, we decided to launch a smaller, unrelated VR game to raise funds, because the PC game we're self distributing. As far as politics, I work personally as doing stuff for a certain person that's a historical political strategist. As far as real estate, I kind of work on my own time. I know certain people like Ben Mala. He's a YouTube real estate entertainment. He's worth over $250 million. And there's certain people that, I like to network with and try to talk to. And this is just, I do certain things in certain time frames. And obviously I don't do this all simultaneously. I don't have 20 million hands, but could I be more effective? Probably. But the point
I didn't
remains
say
the
anything
same.
about your effectiveness. I was just surprised by how much you do. It seems like you're up to a lot. So talk to me about. We kind of got spun off on the every turn a burn thing. So let's move back to the LP thing because I want to talk about it real quick. It wasn't. You kind of talked about like Indian like donations or something or like donations data. I wasn't referring to that. I was referring to specifically. There's been a lot of talk in Safemoon, the Discord, because I like to hear from you guys. This is why I host this space. I mean, I know you feel like nobody's listening to you. I hosted this so I could listen to you guys. So you guys had said in the Discord, hey, this post of John Caroni, here he is admitting how the LP's used. But again, I know you're not on YouTube, so I'll just tell you what he said. He issued two contradictory statements at the same time.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah. One of them is the Discord. The other is the Twitter. The LP is not automatic, but automated. So on the one, can you explain this to me? Do you think he's lying? Do you think he's misleading, or do you think he's telling the truth?
Well, I'll explain the way it works, right? From my understanding, again, I'm not a Safemoon employee. I'm a normal human being. So automatic and automated. You have a robot in your video, right? Let's pretend that robot is a barista, right? If you were to walk up to that robot every day at 12 o'clock and the robot was like, here's your espresso coffee, right? That's automated. Every day it does a specific function at a certain time frame, right? That's automated, right?
I agree.
That's automatic. That's automatic. Every day
Yes.
it does that at that certain time,
I wish I
right?
had that robot.
Dude, I know, right? If you should see my video, it's not perfect. I just met. Anyway, automated, it requires user input. Therefore, you, Coffee, would walk up to your robot and be like, hey, robot, give me a freaking coffee. And it would be like, yes, master. And it would go on and make your coffee. The difference is the robot is performing this task at a certain allocated time or at a certain threshold versus a person manually going in and being like, all right, it's time to do this now. That's, from my understanding, what it has always been.
So you think it's not manual? You think it's automated in the sense that every day at the same time? What?
No, that's automatic. Okay, I understand how this is confusing, right? I don't blame you for getting confused at this point at all, right?
Oh,
because
thank
it
you.
is
That's very nice of you. Go ahead, explain it.
I mean, yeah. So, like, again, it would be automatic if it did it every day or at a certain threshold. It's automated because it required Papa to go into the system and be like, all right, it's time to move this over. But it would do it. It allocates those funds separately. So let's say you do a transaction, 2.5% will go to the other side, and the automated side would then build up and build up and build up until someone like Papa would then go in and say, okay, it's time to move this for whatever reason. And like personally, you guys have this is an unpopular opinion on my behalf, but I appreciate the team's evolving vision. The team initially went in and be like, yeah, we're going to lock everything up.
Wait. Hold on, because we're going to get off topic. I'd let you finish the thought, but I want to respond. So what you're saying, Thomas, the guy who is running the whole thing, disagrees. He goes, no, it wasn't automated at all. It was manual. And then in this post over here, it says 2.5% goes to the locked LP. The other 2.5% is manually locked. What is the first part? The 2.5% goes to the locked LP. What is he referring to there, do you think? Does he mean an automatic LP or an automated LP?
That's V1, which is obviously way different. I'm surprised.
No. Locked LP. Which part is that? 2.5%. 5% goes to the LP. 2.5% goes to the locked LP. The other 2.5% is manually locked. So what's that first 2.5%? Is that automatic?
Yeah, I mean, if it's going into a wallet that you cannot access for a certain period of time, that seems automatic to me.
But that's not what was happening. You know that.
Well, did you find both or did you find one?
I found, it all went to the same place. It all went to the owner wallet.
You're talking about Bitmart now.
No, I'm talking about the contract owner. We're talking about V1 PancakeSwap. 5%, the entire 5% went into the LP tokens went to the ownership wallet, and they were all unlocked. This is completely wrong. You know that, Sam, right?
again, I'm gonna do a video on this. I personally haven't dove into the numbers right here, but what I want to say is that like this is V1, right? That's completely different than where we are today. V1, as you said, was designed and like completely shelved, and at this point,
But we're talking
tried to
about
make
hero John Caroni. We're talking about the man, the myth, the legend. I'm saying I need you to explain this to me because in Safemoon Discord, they're telling me I'm wrong. So I need Safemoon Sam to explain to me why I'm wrong about this.
Again, and what they're saying, you're taking two different things. What they're saying is that he disclosed it. What you're saying is that he disclosed the wrong information. All right? Right?
No. He would have disclosed it April 21st, which is the all-time high, which is irrelevant. Once you're the all-time high and you disclose, oh, guys, we lied. This is not the way it works.
I have the screenshot I have, by the way, which I took directly from the Discord, is a day before. But it doesn't really matter. That's just semantics.
April 20th.
Right?
Okay, yeah, that doesn't matter.
So, but again, what I found really interesting is just the way you present this information as it's like it's fact. It's irrefutable. But then in your description, you said this is all opinion and it's subjective, right? So I didn't like how you called it $1 billion scam, and then you used John talking about the valuation of the company, and then you alluded that the holders have $4 billion to lose. Valuation and market cap are two completely different things. It's not the same thing at all.
What do you want me to call it, Sam? What do you want me to call it? John Caroni's bragging about the fact it's a $4 billion market cap in 9 months. The thing is built on fraud.
No,
what would you title it? What would you title it?
Market cap, Coffee. You're a smart dude. A valuation of a company is different than the market cap of its products.
Sure.
It's not the same
$3 to $4 billion market cap. $3 to $4 billion market cap in 9 months.
No, it's not. It's not that at all. Where are you getting your numbers from? Because I looked the other day, and I've looked at the all-time highs. At one point, there was $1 billion market cap. That's not where we're at, all right? And we have never hit $4 billion. Like, no, that's ridiculous. The valuation of a company is completely different than the market cap, which is created by the amount of money in that asset at a certain point in time, the cumulative amount of funds in that asset, in this case, Safemoon. It has nothing to do with the valuation of the company and its private interest and the holders that are invested actually in the company versus the crypto. You do realize that, right?
Can chat read me this? Can chat read me what this says? Because I can't read it. It's the Safemoon chart. Can someone read me what this says? Are you saying Safemoon never had a multi-billion-dollar market cap?
I'm saying the max I've seen the market cap is probably, if you're including both, maybe the maximum was around $2 billion. But I mean, currently it's not close to that at all. We're at like a $300 million market cap currently, give or take, roughly. But to say that you uncovered a $4 billion fraud
if it was
or whatever you said, scam.
Wait. If it was worth, actually, so I just looked them on CoinMarketCap. They call it a $5 billion market cap, and that's as of, they don't even have the historical data for April. So I think it would have been higher. They have the price for April, and it was higher than in May. So it would have even been higher then. So you're wrong. And then also Caroni.
Are you looking at V1? You have to specify. Which one are you looking at right now?
Of course I'm looking at V1. V2 is a failure. I mean, V2, the price has been going down. Down. It's been a disaster. We all know that.
You know why, Coffee? What is the whale count of Safemoon versus the whale count of, let's say, Doge, right? Which I don't like. I think Doge was the antithesis of the reason why crypto was created in the first place, because the original creator was sick of bailouts.
So again, hold on real quick, because I really got to hammer this. CoinMarketCap says your market cap was $5 billion, and then John Caroni says this made this much money.
So we have a valuation of around $3 to $4 billion.
John Caroni says you have a valuation of three to four. So you have a market cap of $5 billion. You've got a valuation of 3 to 4. You've got a market cap of 5. I mean, what exactly are you taking issue with here?
I'm saying, I'm going to pull it up. I have the screenshots as well, because I literally checked it and I showed it in my video as well. We don't have valuation of a company is completely different than the products that it had. The valuation of a company is something when you go up to an investor and you're saying, hey, my company is set to create $4 billion worth of value in X and Y markets, right? That's what you, a value.
What should I have done, Sam? What should I have done to make this accurate? You're saying this is all clickbait title. What should I have done to make you happy?
I didn't call you clickbait. I mean, if you want to call yourself clickbait, that's cool.
No, what do you think?
Like,
So you don't think it was clickbait? It wasn't clickbait.
I think it's not accurate. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, so why do you think I put it? Why do you think I put that title then? If it's not accurate, if you're saying it's not accurate.
Listen, I don't do speculation. You have your own interest. Listen, I'm here to talk about like certain things. Right. I'm here to talk about certain things. And like what you have created now is you act as if you have the holder's best interests in mind. And yet when I first approached the table to talk to you, you were cutting me off and you were cutting off a lot of other people. Like I'm here to like just discuss certain things. And again, I don't like a lot of the V1 team. I'm glad they're not there. However, the question begs to answer, like the question still remains is if the V1 team was a bunch of rats who were intended on fucking everyone over from the beginning, why don't they like John? Why do you think John and them are in cahoots?
Wait, you know, Karoni's part of the V1 team, right? Karoni didn't come in V2. Yeah, he's been part of it the whole time since March.
I get what you're saying, but I'm saying everyone else as a result, all Safemoon devs friends, Papa's friends is what I'm talking about. Papa doesn't like John, and that's fine for whatever reasons, because he doesn't treat his friends right. I'm sorry, it's about what you can deliver and on the time frames that you say you can deliver on. But the point remains is like, you're saying these guys, the V1 team, were scammers, and then John is part of the cahoots, the conspiracy to scam everyone without my partner constantly and talk shit and draw attention to the fraud that I've been committing? Or do you think there's something else here? Because again, you haven't proved any personal use. You've just shown a wallet, a company wallet owned by a fintech company that is known to move funds around because that's what they do. They make financial services products. Oh, which reminds me, you said that Trust Wallet is a one-on-one copy, or Safemoon Wallet is a one-on-one copy from Trust Wallet. Safemoon Wallet has reflections. It has the calculator. It has the ability to pull indexing pricing
right, I forgot about the
CoinMarketCap. It has the ability
No. Wait. You are correct. I did forget about the calculator. Now you kind of, the thing is, you keep saying, wait.
Listen,
the problem is you accuse me of cutting you off, but the reason I do that, reason I cut you off is because you say like 1,000 things, and like they're all run on sentences, so it's hard for me to respond. So let's kind of try to, I don't know, maybe focus on a point here. Do you want to focus on, which part do you want to focus on? It seems like we didn't really get to an answer on the whole Discord thing. Then the market cap you were wrong about. So what part of this do you want to talk about, like specifically? Because we're just jumping from topic to topic.
Well, again, a valuation and a market cap isn't the same thing, so I'm not fucking wrong. But it's cool. As far as the Discord thing, I told you that we were all part of a discussion that you were not a part of, and you could go probably still find it, but you're saying that I'm wrong about that too. It's okay. So we're going to move on to the Trust Wallet versus Safemoon Wallet thing. And I'm sorry if I'm speaking too quickly.
No, it's not that you're speaking
too small detail.
It's not that no. It's not that you're speaking too quickly. It's that you just jump to the next topic without letting me respond. And that's what's difficult, is because it's not really a dialogue. It's like a monologue. So about the Trust Wallet to Safemoon Wallet skin. So Safemoon employees have come to me and they told me this, right? So then you go and you tell me, oh, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing at all. It's what I was saying in that is the same thing I was saying with the wind turbine, which is not that there's literally like, oh, hey, there's absolutely nothing in there. It's that this is what Safemoon does. At the end of that, I go, this is like a pattern of behavior with Safemoon, which is they take something existing, they kind of slap a few things on it and go, oh, this is ours. They change some minor things and they go, oh, this is ours now. That was like the whole idea there, right? You understand that.
Okay, authentication is a big part of a wallet. Would you agree?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Right. And therefore, if that is a big part of a wallet, why doesn't Trust Wallet have certain authentication methods like Google authentication that Safemoon Wallet does have? And is that therefore a skin if they have certain features that another one doesn't have? And to top it all off, how many wallets look the same? How many, like, do you expect the UI to be completely different? Like, is that what matters to you, or is it the actual things that are in there?
You mean Google? You mean Google Auth? Like, you mean Google like Authy, like just like a password thing?
Google authentication, yeah, they have that in the Safemoon wallet. Not sure if you even bother to look at it, but that's something that's in the Safemoon wallet that Trust Wallet simply does not offer, and it's a big thing. It's not like a nothing burger, right? There are several tools and things that are in Safemoon wallet that Trust Wallet simply does not have.
They have a calculator too. That's true.
Okay, you want to point at little things. I'm telling you, you're laughing at. I'm just
trying to make it light, Sam. I'm sorry for trying to make it a little light.
No, you're not. You're trying to entertain your viewers, which I get, but don't try to make me look like a fucking idiot by doing it. I'm giving you actual fucking differences, right? So don't act like you're being my friend while you're fucking making fun of me, because that's what you seem to do to everyone who has a different opinion than you, all right? I'm trying to have a positive conversation with you. So if you don't have the best intention, that's fine, but don't pretend to have the best intentions.
I said I was making a joke. I didn't say. Wow. Okay, I don't know what to say. Do we have any other thoughts? Do we have any other? Because I want to talk also about some of the big claims in the new video about the Papa stuff. Do we want to talk about that?
Yeah. So I'm looking at BS.
I promise I won't make fun of you, Sam.
Yeah. I promise. Yeah. You said V1 has $3 billion market cap. I'm looking at BSC scan, which is the correct place to look, not coin market cap for anyone that actually knows anything. And the fully diluted market cap is $729 million, not anywhere close to $3 billion. So tell me how I'm wrong again on V1. Please, because you're looking at the coin market cap, which is known to have bad information, and told us all we were all fucking billionaires a few months ago. So please tell me how you're so much smarter and you have the right information constantly while I have the wrong information.
So you're looking.
By the way, for anyone that knows, you should always look at BSC scan. You don't look at coin market cap. BSC scan. Everyone knows that, and you know that. Use it to go.
Listen, Sam. Why are you looking at the fully diluted market cap? Why are you looking at? Are you looking at today? Are you looking at today? Are you looking at where are you? When are you looking at?
Yeah, we're talking about you uncovered the scam.
Why are you looking at today? I didn't say it has a $5 billion market cap today.
Berkeley, it was worth this. You didn't say that. You said, you said I'm looking at coin market cap and it has a market cap of $3 billion is what you said.
No, I was looking at coin market cap and it had a market cap of $5 billion in May.
Again, and did you? Okay, and my point to all of this is that you still have not proven.
Why are you looking at today's market cap? It's way down. You even admit that. So no SafeMooner even disagrees. So of course the market cap's down.
Yeah, we're not.
When you talk about a fraud, Sam, you're thinking about damages. You're thinking about damages. What's happened to investors, right? What's been done to investors. You're thinking about how do you think about this in terms of, like, if you look at a thing when it's already 90% down, do you say that's the only thing that matters is the current price?
No, you're talking historical, and if you were talking historical, you should have clarified that fact. You didn't say you said this is what it is. You didn't say this is what it was. There's a difference.
Wait, do you want me to put that? Do you want me to put that in the title?
No, I want you to contextualize the information you're presenting to your viewers, because you say certain things, but then omit other information that is relevant. And that, in legal terms, is called a material fact. And you're purposely, continually leaving out material facts whenever you speak to people. And it seems ingenuine, because I genuinely was looking forward to watching your video, and I was genuinely disappointed. And that's just the fact of the matter. And you can say whatever.
I'm sorry you were disappointed, Sam. I mean, to be clear with everybody, Safemoon does not have $1 billion market cap now. Of course not, because they're way down. Obviously, and they split their coin. So it's like there's still holders on V1, there's still holders on V2. Of course that's true. So what's your point?
You need to stop conflating. My point is that you need to stop conflating market cap and valuation, because when John was speaking
in both cases, Caroni claims it's $1 billion valuation. It was $1 billion coin by the time they admitted they had committed a fraud, which was in April. It was already $1 billion market cap. Okay, there's nothing that's untrue about that statement. Both things are true. According to Caroni, it was valued at $3 to $4 billion. If it's a fraud, that makes it a $3 to $4 billion valuation fraud. Historically, it was also worth billions of dollars. I said, look, here's when they disclosed it, but it's too late because you already have billions of dollars on the line here, or there's already $1 billion market cap on the line here. So I'm confused. I'm a little bit confused. I'm like, you seem to be upset about nothing.
Yeah. So what you're saying is because Safemoon Dev came on board, robbed a bunch of people, fucked everyone over, and locked up or didn't lock up liquidity. So many people had put in this money at a certain point of time that it makes no sense at any point in time to ever change the fundamentals of the way something works. And rather, you should just continue on the same path of shooting yourself in the foot to make other people happy. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think Caroni should have come forward and been honest with people about what has happened. I think Caroni should still be honest with people about this. Is what I talked to the last caller about. I mean, if Safemoon has any hope, Caroni needs to come forward and admit what's been happening this whole time that he's known about.
Again, stop right there. There is a potentially ongoing legal investigation. There is a lawsuit that is going to be structured, and a hearing happening within the next month or two. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if you think a CEO of a company that is involved or allegedly involved with certain things is going to come out and talk to a YouTuber, which has clearly had some bias and talk to the most hateful people who are literally wishing ill on his very own community, and thinks that you're going to present the information in a way that's actually fair and balanced, well, that's like me expecting to go on to CNN and them talking to me like.
Well, to be clear, I wanted to talk to Caroni way before I had talked to a lot of people. So you're saying like, oh, why would he come on when you've talked to all these people? This was way before that. I said, look, I have some important questions for you. Are you willing to talk? Nothing had been put out. I mean, so you're saying like, oh, it's so smart of him to do it this way. It's like, no, way before that, I was asking for comment.
I didn't say smart or anything.
All right, fine. You
support him, but I didn't say any of those things.
We know you support him. So about this, but again, you keep going like what should they have done? What should they have done? I think they should have started even in April with admitting the truth, which is even in April 21st, the all-time high of Safemoon, billion-dollar market cap, multi-billion-dollar market cap. You've got Caroni lying. Why do you think he's lying? I mean, why would he do that?
You're saying he's lying about
the
where
investigation.
The liquidity.
It's before the FBI gets involved. This is when he has his chance to come clean with the people.
All right. Again, you're saying he's lying because you don't think the money went into certain wallets that you believe is being used.
No, I'm saying he's lying because all of this is provable on the blockchain.
What you haven't done is proved what purposes those funds.
No. He made claims about a automatically locked LP or an automated locked LP. Those are false.
If I'm going to call someone a fraud who works at a fintech company and they have finances, they're a financial technology company that deals with moving an evolving vision. It started off with Safemoon Dev, a fucking idiot, potentially trying to rug pull people, and it ended up as we're not going to do what he initially did, and we're going to pivot onto something that is actually sustainable instead of just
why would
hype,
you pivot
which
to
does
a
not work.
misleading statement? You have to admit that this statement on Discord is misleading. At best, misleading. At worst, a lie.
We're talking. Safemoon was created in March. There are comments from March and in April, 1 month later, where they're saying we're pivoting, and here are the discussions about it. Where are you? Why don't you talk about that? They gave those discussions a month later.
Send me the
1 month
post.
later. They
Send me
didn't
the
wait 6 months.
post.
They didn't
Send me
wait
the
a
post,
year.
Sam. Send me the posts. I'll put
Looking
them up
at it,
on.
it's literally 1 month after Safemoon was created. Safemoon was created in March. We all know that.
So
right?
send me the posts.
You're reading it, motherfucker.
You mean on April 21st?
That's 1 month after Safemoon was created.
It's actually 1.5 months. It's over 1.5 months, so technically wrong, but
right.
It's okay.
You're not playing semantics, right? Oh, technically you're wrong. You're not playing
No.
semantics,
You said
right?
a month after. A month after is a big difference from the all-time high, right? That is a big difference.
It's like it actually. I think Safemoon was created. What is it? It's March 13th. So what is it? A month and 7 days. Wow.
Where are you getting that from? Where are you getting it from that it's created March 13th? Where do you see that?
I'm a community member. This is like I'm giving a rough estimate. Like I just know these things because I was there. Like I wasn't there March. I came actually in April after that crash. But it's cool. Like we all know when the birthday was. Like we were all there. Like so for you to say like, oh, it's too late. You got to keep doing whatever you were already doing. Like you're not allowed to change anything up. Like I agree with you where certain things should have been like maybe changed up on the website. But like these people who were responsible for certain things, like they were friends of friends, and that's not how you run a company. And that's why they're fucking gone, because they couldn't deliver on the timelines that they themselves have set up. And so like things should have been changed on the website until you fire your fucking web developer, and then you need to fucking change it. Like I agree that there are certain things that should have been disclosed in more locations.
But
however, where you're wrong is
but
were disclosed. It's not in the time frame that you would have like you would have liked.
No, not in the time frame I would have liked. The investors would have liked to know that they were getting involved in a fraud where the white paper, the Medium article, the GitHub are all wrong, right? And then even Coroni's own responses, April 21st, are still wrong. So they're still wrong. You're saying they're pivoting, but they're wrong. You can't, again, you're acting like you can pivot what the code says. Describing how the LP works is not a matter of pivoting. You can't change that unless you go to a new contract, which eventually they did. Obviously, we know that. But at the time, you can't, there's no way to describe it in a way other than you either are factual about it or you're lying about it. So which is it in this case?
There's something called a technical founder and a non-technical founder. Which one is John?
He's definitely the non-technical one.
Okay, so do you think he has a technical understanding of the way the contract is written and the way that funds are certainly allocated, even though he didn't create version?
I think Coroni should know enough to not
and do you think
Go ahead.
No, I muted myself. I'm drinking my coffee. Go ahead.
Okay. I think Coroni knows enough to not contradict himself in the same day. That much, I think. I think it's fine if you're saying, because that's what I said. I said he could just be not understand his own contract. I did say that's an option. But why would you say two different things on the same day? Sam, do you still hold Safemoon?
Sure, man. Of course. I'm here, zero or hero. Like, I've invested what I'm willing to lose as I would with any other thing, whether it's gold or real estate or whatever. I came in knowing this is going to be a multiple year thing, and I wasn't going to be rich overnight. Because anyone that's expecting to make $1 million overnight, and you're going to say, oh, well, but the development team did. Well, those are contractual people who are working for like hours on end contractually, and has no relevance to the actual, like, although, yes, they got paid in Safemoon or they got paid in whatever, and therefore it is relevant. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to make $1 million overnight as a buyer or as a holder, because technically we're not really investors. If you're an investor, you own part of the company. We don't own stocks. We own crypto, which is regulated different, and which you also said, man, I wish that the regulators would be a little bit more strict. But what you don't know is Joe from Mandela is a lawyer. Joe from Mandela is an expert on crypto law and works with the legislators to actually work and implement some of these things. And
wait a second.
he has Safemoon's back. He has John's back.
What are you? What are you? Are you just a speculator? What do you
I'm
consider
a holder.
yourself?
I'm a speculative investor. I'm a speculative holder. I'm not an investor in a company. There's a very big difference. And when I pay a tax to a company, just like when I pay a tax to a country, I'm not those funds are no longer mine. If I agree to pay a 10% tax, like, I acknowledge that money isn't mine anymore. Like, I've paid my tax to this country or to this company. Therefore, when the CIA goes and blows money running drugs or whatever, I've acknowledged, like, I'm not going to be like, oh, they defrauded me. Like, yeah, they may have misallocated funds or done things that aren't right that I don't agree with, which I'm not saying is what Safemoon did. I'm saying that's what may have Kyle have done, and maybe even Papa. I don't know, because we're speculating. But what we do know is that you haven't proved anything of personal use on John's behalf. Rather, you have proved that it is a company wallet that's used for management, and you haven't shown how he took money out of Safemoon, out of the LP, to buy himself a Lambo or to buy himself a nice watch or two. Like, right? Like, that's what I'm waiting for. If you're going to call something a scam because old people who were no longer involved with something.
Sam, slow down. Let me tell you something real quick, okay? Because I'm about to have to go. I didn't realize what time it was. It's unfortunately 2:30. Sure, you're saying you're not an investor. Let me politely disagree with you. I think you're an investor, and I think you should think of yourself as an investor and all that implies. I think you should care about. Hold on. I think you should care about what the company does that's improving the value of your Safemoon. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for taking questions. I appreciate it.
Yeah, let me finish. Let me have a final statement. I do
make
care.
Make it under 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's funny. I do care what they're doing. And as you said, and as you read online, John said that they're going to use a portion of those funds, 2.5%, to either sit there or to be used for development purposes. And I am okay with that portion of the things. If you can prove to me that he used money that wasn't his salary or money that was meant for development, and then he used it for personal costs and for personal expenditures, that's a whole different case. But as of yet, you have not proved that at all. You've made those allegations, and you have gone to people who were within arm's length of him. But as of right now, you have not proven any substantial misuse from John. Whether whether Kyle or Papa or anyone that was formerly in the company did, that's like their own problem. I hope that if they get chased by the law, that's their own fucking problem. But they are not Safemoon as of right now. If they were paid off to get the fuck out of the way, so be it. Like, I'd give them the fucking $1 million. Get the fuck away from my company and don't ever come back. Like, I appreciate your start of this, but like, this is what it is. Here's your cut of whatever, and stay the fuck away. And from now on, we're going to actually build something sustainable. So that's my opinion. I do care, and you have not proven any personal use. So I hope you come back and say, listen, John came back and he bought a house with this. And that's why I've been saying all these things. Because until you do that, I'm sorry, it's bullshit. Because these people are no longer part of the company, and we didn't trust them from the start. And I'm glad all the people that you've previously discussed are gone. And that includes Ginger, that includes Kyle. At this point, it includes Papa. It includes everyone else that came as a result. Hank, the people who were asking for $3 million to or they're going to delete the Discord and delete.
Time's up. Sorry, guys. I'm sure he had a lot to say that was really relevant. I have to, I have to go. I will be back. If you want, guys, part 3, let me know of the debates. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I couldn't handle any more of it. Thank you for watching. We've been live now for about, looks like 2 hours now. 2 hours, giving everyone a shot. We might do this again. If there's interest in it, we'll do it again. Thank you so much for watching.